Hello, I am Mr. Robot. I am here to inform you we have received a message from the universe and divine in code beep boop beep. We shall talk about your healing focus for the month of August. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy. Beep boop beep.
Hey guys, it is I, Milka, and welcome back to my channel, NutAeum. As we heard from Mr. Robot, today we will be looking at messages from the universe and divine that we have just received in a beaming down way, like lightning. In regards to what your healing focus for the month of August is. And for those of you guys who are newer to the channel, hello, it is great to have you here. And basically in these readings, I'm just going to do a tiny mini breakdown. What we're going to be looking at is we're going to do a little energy check to see where you guys are currently at. And if it sounds like you, this video is for you, or this is your group. If it doesn't sound like you, maybe try another group. And if for whatever reason it doesn't seem to click, maybe this may not be the video for you, but I do have a bunch of other healing focus videos. And even though I have them for months, you know, or like specific months, they don't necessarily have to be time frame specific. If you watch like the May one and we're going into August, but that one just so happens to apply to you, you know, so you can give that a shot as well. Also, so we're going to be doing the energy check, and then we're also going to see what you have the opportunity to leave behind in the month of July. And then we're going to look at your material world focus for the month of August, as well as what divine would like you to focus on healing in the month of August, okay? And any additional messages that come through. Alrighty, you guys, and before we go into our group selections, I just wanted to do my little shameless self-plug. First of all, actually, before we even do any of that, I wanted to thank you guys because the channel has reached a little over 1,000 subscribers now. So thank you guys so much for your support. I am so grateful. I don't even know how to fully express this gratitude, to be honest with you. It's like I want to give you guys something so we can celebrate, but I'm not entirely sure what, you know. So I'm gonna come up with some kind of a, I don't know, maybe I'll think of something, but maybe it's just like you guys, whatever the majority request of whatever it is that you guys want to see, you know, I'll do that video next. But yeah, I'm thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart, from all of my heart and all of my being. I'm so grateful and thankful to you all for being here, for, you know, coming on board and subscribing and supporting, and for watching this content that I put out, you know, just into the ethers of the internet. And it's really been an honor serving you guys in this way and being a messenger for you guys and coming through with this guidance for you. So thank you for allowing me to do that for you guys and to be that for you. And thank you guys for also being some real ones, you know, like some of you guys are like real friends. So thank you guys. Okay, I really appreciate it. I love when you guys comment, and I love hearing from you guys, okay? But yes, back to the shameless self-plug. Yes, I'm only wearing one bracelet today, but I do make custom crystal bracelets. If you guys are interested, they are attuned with Reiki. The stones and crystals are custom picked for whatever it is that you guys are trying to attract more of in your life or focus on healing and whatnot. They're also attuned with light language, as well as a couple of other things, and with the specific intention of what it is that you're trying to, again, attract more of and all of that jazz. If you guys are interested in checking out a couple of examples of some of the bracelets that I've done, you can check them out on my website. There is a page on the website called Bracelets, and there are just a couple of examples that I've done for clients, okay? Also, I do private personal readings, okay? And for those of you who are interested in those private personal readings, you can reach out to me either through my email or the contacts page on my website, also in the description box below. And I also do custom affirmation songs for those of you guys that might be interested in a custom affirmation song catered specifically to whatever it is that you're trying to bring more of into your life or to embody, right? Because music is a mantra, regardless of what you're listening to. And if you can listen to something that is empowering, right, and it gets stuck in your head, can you imagine how much quicker your healing would be if you are constantly repeating things like I am safe, right? Because I have a root chakra affirmation song on my other channel, Milka38, also in the description box below. I also have my affirmation songs like in a playlist on this channel. So like there's a song called, it's a root chakra song, and it's I am safe, right? Can you imagine if you have the words I am safe playing in your head nonstop for a few days even? It really takes a toll on your psyche, and it helps you to start actually feeling genuinely safe and secure. And that helps to stabilize the root chakra, right? You can feel more secure in your environment. But anyway, I just feel very passionate about it, which is why I kind of plug it in here, okay? But speaking of music, I do also have a song, my most recent song, which it's not that recent anymore, but you know, I'm planning on putting out another one soon. But yes, my most recent song that I will include a snippet of here. Don't shrink in the shadows. It'll be alright. Reach your hand out to me. I'll be your guide. Promise you there'll come a day when you'll live in the light. But for now, just hold on to me. I'll be your guide. And yeah, you guys, it was a channeled song from Divine, from God. And I remember when I wrote it, I cried. It was very silly because I remember it was meant to be a song from the beginning, but it was also a message that I was receiving. And I was like, I'm so sorry. Can I write this down? Can this be a song? Obviously, it was meant to be a song from, again, like I said, the beginning. And yeah, I personally feel like it's a powerful message. So if you guys are interested in hearing the rest of the song, there's going to be a link in the description box below to that video as well. Okay? All right. So without further ado, let us get into our group selections. Group 1, you have Archangel Raphael with Celestial Healing. Group 2, we have Joy. Look how cute. Okay. Group 3, we have Turquoise Spectrum. By the way, you guys, all the cards that I use in all of my readings are always going to be in the description box below because, one second, Gold Spectrum for Group 4. Because I adamantly believe that, I just know as somebody who has watched pick a card readings, basically, like, sometimes you see a deck and you're like, oh, it's so cute. But then like they never tell you what it's called and you're just left wondering like, oh my goodness, how will I ever find this deck? So all of the things I use are going to be in the description box below if I, you know, can say what they are. But anyway, I'm going to give you guys a moment to choose and we'll be back with, I'll see you guys at your group, basically. Yeah. Hey Group 1, this is your group if you chose Archangel Raphael with Celestial Healing. We'll set your card to the side. I'm going to ring the singing bowl for you guys. There we go. And let us take a look-see at what you guys got. So first we're going to be looking at your energy check, which is going to be what are you currently going through or experiencing, or what's going on currently in your life. And then below that, we will see what you have the opportunity to leave behind in the month of July. Okay, so let's start. We've got, the 5 of Wands, the Hanged Man, the Fool. I got an email. the 6 of Swords. And it's interesting that you guys have the 6 of Swords, because on the bottom of one of these decks, we actually see the 6 of Swords too. So multiple 6 of Sword energy. Then we also have the 10 of Wands. Oh my. Oh me, oh my. Okay, I'm gonna move these cards up a little bit so that you guys can have a full view of the goods. The 7 of Wands. Wow, you guys have a lot of wands. Even in this Hanged Man card, you know, this tree that he's tied to, it's giving off very much wand energy. I've never really thought of it that way before, but it's kind of coming through for you guys. And we have the 4 of Wands and the 9 of Swords. Okay, you guys. Okie dokie. Give me a moment. Let me just set your other cards to the side. We'll reveal them later. And let me see what I'm seeing for you. Okay, you guys. What you're currently doing, I feel like you guys are currently releasing old patterns, okay? I feel like maybe there were a couple of connections or relationships in your life, whether they were romantic, friendships, family, that were kind of like the last straw. You know, like you guys have been working on healing a couple of core wounds for some time, I think. Or yeah, for a little bit of time, you guys have been working on healing these core wounds. And I feel like the cycle was still kind of repeating itself in subtle ways, you know? But you guys have gotten to the point where it almost feels kind of like a fed up, like I'm done. That's it. No more. Like it feels very like, this is the final straw. I am not going to repeat the cycle anymore. I am not going to do this. Like just a kind of final, like, no, you know, it feels very strong. And so I'm seeing you guys actually trying to break through these patterns right now. Yeah, I mean, even with the Fool and the 6 of Swords, right? This is about a new beginning, moving forward. And I think like you guys, I just want to let you guys know, you actually are breaking these patterns. I know that you guys can actually start feeling it for yourself. I think you guys have a hunch. You're like, yes, I feel like I'm breaking these patterns because I'm not going to entertain this anymore. I'm not going to tolerate them talking to me like this. I'm not going to tolerate them treating me like this. I'm not going, like, I deserve better. You know, and though you guys are still in the process of truly, fully believing that, it's like consciously you guys have developed enough, or you guys have learned enough, right? Because something that I do talk about with some of my clients especially, right, is that when it comes to healing and like spirituality and all of this stuff, and like self-love and self-help, right, you spend the first couple of years, I just got chills around my legs. Yeah, you spend the first couple of years learning how to do it, right? The first couple of years, it's like you're in school, you're gaining the knowledge, okay? But knowledge is not application. You can know that green smoothies are good for your health. That doesn't mean that you're making a green smoothie which is healing you, right? So I feel like you guys have been gaining knowledge all that time. And like now you guys are in the point where you are applying it so you can feel it emotionally. So that's why I feel like you guys are still kind of in the works in regards to truly feeling it completely in your heart. But you guys have acquired enough knowledge to know that you guys truly do deserve something better. It's just this next phase, and something that you've already actually kickstarted, is starting to do the emotional healing, so the emotional application of that knowledge, right? Also, I wanted to let you guys know, for the few of you that this might resonate with, I feel like I felt the energy of like a dog around my legs, okay? So I don't know, it could be any kind of animal, like an animal that you guys could have considered a companion or a friend, or, you know, a pet. I felt the energy, and it feels more so like a dog, Okay, I'll be honest. It can be a cat. I do feel like for the couple of you that this applies to, there is a couple that it is a cat, but I am getting a little stronger, a dog, like a puppy. It feels like a big dog, but it's a puppy, so it looks like the size of a regular dog, like a smaller dog that's fully grown, but it's actually a puppy version of a big dog. So I'm kind of getting like a golden retriever puppy or something along those lines. You know, not like when they're the babiest puppy, but kind of like when they're a little bit of an older puppy. So they're not exactly like minuscule, you know, they're not like a teacup Yorkie or something when they're babies. So it kind of feels like that. You know, it's like a lion cub or something. Like there's this, I'm seeing like a yellow kind of fur and a youthfulness. It kind of feels like a puppy. It doesn't have to be a puppy, but that's kind of what I'm getting. Okay, so for whoever that resonates through, I feel like you guys are getting that kind of support. Oh, speaking of, oh my goodness, yes, look, there's a little dog here. The spirit guides are coming through as a dog. So for those of you guys who have had a puppy or dog that has passed, you know, like I know that's a really hard thing. I've experienced, you know, the loss of a feline friend, and it's a difficult thing completely, for sure. And I feel like regardless of how long ago that may have been, this dog or puppy has come, or even if it was a dog, you know, they have come in like a puppy form, and apply, you know, to any other animal that it could be. Like they've come in a more youthful form, kind of to let you guys know that they're happy wherever they are, and to let you guys know also that they're supporting you, they're protecting you on the other side, and they're kind of helping you empower yourself now. Okay, so that's very cute. All right, so that is the energy check for you guys, okay? That's what it kind of feels like you guys are currently, where you're currently at. Now let's take a look at what you have the opportunity to leave behind in the month of July. So what are we possibly saying goodbye to in July? Yeah, okay, that family dynamic that we were talking about. So for those of you who it is relatives or family, I feel like you guys are kind of putting an end to that. I feel like you guys carried a lot of burden, a lot of other people's burden. That's why it kind of feels like a no, I'm done. It literally feels so firm, like you were carrying these 10 wands and then you just drop them and you were like, I'm not carrying your burden anymore. I'm not carrying your shish kebabs. I'm not carrying your stuff. It is not mine. I don't want it. I'm not going to continue doing this. Okay, so it almost feels like some of the people who are used to taking advantage of you, or who are used to you guys being around all of the time, a couple of them may kind of, you know, I feel like some of them are going to be fine. They're going to be okay. But then there could be a couple of them that are like trying to kind of pick back up where you guys left off, you know, where they'll try to keep doing that thing, and it's almost like a test for you guys to be like, no, I am standing my ground. We're not I'm so completely done, you know. And I think for you guys are going to be doing it. To be honest with you, I'm seeing like you guys are going to be leaving that behind. It could trickle a little bit into the next month because it's a couple of people that you're going to have to kind of lay out these boundaries with, or possibly even cut out if they do not respect them. But yeah, I also feel like another thing you guys are getting the opportunity to leave behind in the month of July is it's like anxiousness and stress. You know, this has been burdening you guys for so long. It has been a source of, for some of you guys, anxiety, and it's like it feels so burdensome, okay? And it doesn't have to just be family or whatever. This could be a romantic connection. This could be a friendship where you're just like, why have I been carrying the bulk of this connection? Why have I been carrying, I've been caring about your burdens and your problems, but how much do you give back to me? You know? And it just feels like there was so much stress and like restless nights. And for some of you guys, it could have even caused like a hard time having peaceful sleep, you know, for a couple of you guys, because it was too stimulating. It was too much. And I feel like it could have, for some of you guys, even caused like physical pain. Okay, like I'm getting like it could have caused physical pain in like your stomach area or below the stomach area. It kind of feels like the solar plexus / sacral, in between their chakras, okay? Or a couple of you guys, for very few, I don't know why I'm getting it, but it kind of feels like one of your legs or thighs or something, I don't know. Or both of them. It's very, very specific. So if that applies to you, please let me know. If you're open to that, of course. But yeah, so it feels like this has been something that has taken a big toll on your life. And it's like God has been trying to tell you and your angels and your guides and your team, like, please stop taking this. And you guys have finally heard it. Like, you guys have been hearing it, but you guys, it's like you were stuck in a pattern, right? You were stuck in a loop, in a cycle, in a habit. That's the key word, habit. You were stuck in a habit and you were like, I'm not continuing this habit. It is hurting me. I just cannot, like, I hear it like that, you know, as if it's just kind of like, I cannot, I will not, I refuse. Okay. So yeah, so it's good. You guys have the opportunity to actually leave the stuff behind in the month of July. And I feel like a couple of you guys could have acted a little passive aggressively because you felt like you were being taken advantage of, or you felt like you were being violated. But it's only because you kept tolerating it. So I think that that's going to be something that gets a little ended too. I also feel like maybe as you're coming into this, like taking care of yourself, you may be a little overly protective of yourself moving forward, you know, where you're just kind of like, I'm not taking anything, like any shish kebabs, like no way, I'm not tolerating it. So, oops, sorry guys. But yeah, so I feel like a couple of you guys could be a little overprotective of yourself moving forward for a little. And I think, you know what, that's okay. It's okay. It's okay to be that way while you're solidifying this new change. It's not something that's going to be good to have, like, to the extent that I'm seeing forever. But I think for the next month or so, it could be it's a good thing for you guys, okay, to continue to keep this going, okay? All right, now sorry guys, I feel like something, my chair, what happened to my chair? Okay guys, sorry. Let me pull out the rest of your cards. Give me one sec. What the heck? Y'all, I don't know what happened, but my chair broke. Oh, that is so sad. Sorry. Well, you know what? It was an old chair, so if it means it's time for me to get a new chair, I think this could be talking, right? Because I'm sitting on it. I'm sitting on it with my root chakra, right? That's my base of my body, of my torso, touching this chair. So I feel like for some of you guys, it's kind of talking about, look, if something no longer fits, it's no longer going to fit in your life. You may have to get a replacement. There may be some things and some people that you guys have got to cut out, okay? And I feel like you are revamping, like we were talked about, your core beliefs, okay? So it's like an out with the old, in with the new. All right, now we're going to be taking a look at your material world focus for the month of August and your healing focus, or what Divine would like you to focus on healing for the month of August, okay? We've got the Star. Ten of Swords, the Elder of Swords, which is the King of Swords. Your skin lingers on me now. The Three of Wands. Finally on you. The Emperor. Wow, this is so interesting. You guys are getting so much masculine energy here. Even with the wands is fire. Fire and air are masculine elements. We have the King of Cups. You see another like masculine card, which is interesting, right? Because you're talking about that kind of like being fed up, that drive, that like there was a lot of wands you guys had earlier too, right? It was kind of like this passion. So like the ooh, which one is it? The yang energy. Yeah, I think it's yang, because yin, I believe, is the feminine. It's the black part. Yeah. Then we have the Three of Cups as the Three of Cups. The Two of Swords. The Apprentice of Swords. Oh my, I keep forgetting that some of these cards, the Apprentice. I believe this is the Page of Swords. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna lay out the cards and I'm gonna look it up. Give me one sec. Then you guys have Strength with Archangel Ariel, and it says strength and grace through kindness, self-confidence, and forgiveness. Strength is another fire card, and strength is also associated with Leo, which we are going into Leo season. Then I think we are in Leo season when this video is up. We have Page of Raphael, which is Page of Cups. Gentle, loving, dreamy, open-hearted, a new emotional situation, messages regarding relationships or social invitations, great intuitive insights. Okay, we also have Eight of Michael, which is the Eight of Swords. You can be free. Make a courageous choice to change your situation, not seeing things clearly. All right, and wow, okay, I guess I'll reveal all the cards now because why not? So you guys also have 31 with Home. Okay, these are kind of like extra cards, so I'm just gonna have it here, but it's not the material world. It's not like, yeah. Okay, then you guys also have Waxing Gibbous Moon with Nurturing Patience and Refinement. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. You have the 7th house with Partnerships, Balance, one-on-one relationships. Yep. You guys are redefining the way that you guys are redefining the type of relationships you have in your life right now. Then we have Neptune with Mysticism, Spirituality, and Escapism. Okay. Give me one sec, y'all. Oh yeah, I wanted to figure out what this is. Give me 1 second. Let me just look through the deck to see what the wording that they use. Hold on. Skin lingers on me now. Yeah, and for whatever reason, you guys, the song Big Girls Don't Cry by Jordan Sparks, I believe. Nope, that's not Jordan Sparks. Who is that, Fergie? I don't know who sings that song. It's an old song. But that song is kind of caught in my head for y'all. Keeper. Okay. Crown, Keeper, and Champion. Okay, yes, this is the page. The Page of Swords. Okay. All right, guys, give me a moment to see what I'm seeing for you. You're finally on your flight back to your hometown. Okay. Yeah, you remember how I was saying that it may kind of bleed into the next month? I think I mentioned that earlier. So I do feel like in your material world focus, these boundaries that you guys are asserting and kind of like not taking people's shish kebabs and whatnot, that is going to be bleeding into August. So I feel like, remember how I mentioned you guys may be a little overly defensive of yourselves? And that it's kind of okay, right? Because we have the King of Swords, we have the Emperor, we have the King of Cups. The King of Swords and the King of Cups, this is literally your rational mind, your analytical mind, and your emotions, okay? And then the Emperor, which again is that masculine energy. And it's coming through with all of this to say that I feel like you guys are, again, it's that being overprotective of yourselves. Seeing what is right for you, what is not. How people make you feel. Do you feel good when you're around somebody, or do you feel drained? Okay, even though you think you're not picking up their slack, do you still feel drained when you're around them? Yes. Well, maybe you guys are out of habit picking up something where you didn't realize you're doing so. Okay, I feel like you guys are a high value person, and you guys are coming to that now. Okay, you guys have been coming to that for the last couple of months, and you guys are finally kind of settling on that. And it's like the way that you can continue to be and evolve as a high value person is by cutting out the people who do not treat you like a high value person. Okay, they have been living off of your light for a long time. They've gotten used to it, and then you started kind of perpetuating the cycle because it was something that became a habit, right? It was something that became part of your comfort zone. Our comfort zone is not necessarily something that is actually good for us or that we enjoy. Our comfort zone is just something that we're so used to that we keep coming back to it, right? So it can be very toxic. And I feel like for you guys, in that case, it was toxic because your comfort zone was people taking advantage of you and using your light. And I feel like in your younger years, your light was used too by the people around you. And you didn't even know it because you didn't realize you had this kind of a light. You didn't realize you guys were special. And you guys are now, you've trained yourself enough to know that you guys are special. There is something unique about you. And like it's time for you guys to take care of yourself, to defend yourself, right? So I do feel this is still coming through in the month of August. I do feel like you guys are still adamantly working on it. The fact that the star is here is also indicating this is not just healing. This is also incredibly supported by your guides and your team. They're encouraging you to keep going, to keep having boundaries, right? Boundaries keeps coming through as the word for you guys. It's really boundaries. What are you going to allow your relatives to say to you? What are you going to allow them to expect of you? Same thing with your friends. Same thing with romantic partners or potential romantic partners, okay? Are you the only one making the effort? If you are, why? Right? You should not be picking up other people's slack. It's not your job. It's not your responsibility, and you know that. So you guys are just going to be instilling that. I think it's going to take a little bit of time, but like I said, you guys are reprogramming your core beliefs. It's a big deal. It's a very big deal. You guys should be incredibly proud of yourself. I'm going to applaud you. I'm proud of you. Your guides are proud of you. This is a big decision, a big choice, and a big chance to take. And you're doing it, and that is a huge deal. That is huge. I hope you guys are proud of yourselves because this is a very big deal, okay? You are literally reprogramming core fundamental beliefs. And it's going to take some time, and you're going to make a couple of mistakes. And in those times when you make mistakes, don't get angry at yourselves, okay? You're breaking a habit. The most important thing is that you caught it and you keep moving forward, because you've got to keep talking gentle to yourself. I get that you guys are kind of putting in the action here now, but don't forget the gentle self-talk, which is key. It is so important, right? Because if those people, if you tell them you can't cross boundaries, my boundaries anymore, okay? But you keep crossing your own by talking to yourself in such a harsh way, it's not going to be helping you, right? It's not serving you to call yourself mean things, okay? Like, instead of saying like stupid or idiot, you can say things like silly, change the wording. It'd be like, oh, group one, I can't believe I was just being so silly. Like, I did it again, but it's okay because I caught it and I'm going to keep moving forward, right? So try to continue to be gentle with yourselves, you guys, because I feel like this passionate energy that is kind of making you overprotective of yourself and like really stick to this kind of a thing that you guys have said may be a little too harsh on the way that you guys talk to yourself or about yourself. Okay, you don't have to kind of follow through. I feel like you guys are kind of feeding off the fire energy of Leo season. Yes, so that kind of feels like the material world focus for you guys, okay? So it's just it's good. It's good. You guys are continuing to keep this kind of like boundary stuff, keeping people in check when it comes to you, okay? Just be mindful, I would say, not to get too aggressive with others, okay? Because try to figure out the source of the irritation, all right? Are you being triggered by them because of something they're currently doing? Or are you being triggered by them because of things that they've done in the past and you guys haven't forgiven that yet or let that go yet because it's still so fresh, or you guys are just, it's fresh for you guys to start moving on from it? And so you guys keep holding them accountable for something that they're not doing, right? So say, for example, you set a boundary with somebody and now they're following this boundary, but the sight of them still keeps you guys triggered and you feel like you have to be overly defensive and like be on your toes and keep them on their toes in case you have to put them back in their place. So I feel like it's kind of like you guys don't have to be going so intense with it, all right? Like, these people, the people who are showing you that they're not going to be crossing your boundaries again, like, you can take a breath before you go and come in with a lot of aggression, right? And I think for some of you guys, it may be helpful, right? In the beginning, it's funny that I mentioned it in this video in the intro, but I have an affirmation song for the root chakra. It's called I Am Safe, and there's a playlist on this channel with my affirmation songs, okay, with a couple of the affirmation songs that I have on YouTube. And you can also find it on my Milka 38 channel, right, which is where it's posted. But it is called I'm Safe. But if it's easier, like I said, you can just click on the NutAeum channel and the playlist affirmation songs should have it there. And I feel like maybe that one could be good for you guys to listen to. Maybe listen to it a few times. If you catch the words are kind of simple, I think. So maybe you can like kind of learn the lyrics for yourselves, and if you can start singing it a little bit in your own head, it could be good for you guys to kind of help you, right? Because the security is about the root chakra, and asserting your boundaries and all of this stuff. This is kind of like when we talk about core beliefs and core wounds and stuff, I feel like this is also triggering your root chakra, your sense of security and the connection and feeling like somebody is going to respect you and all this stuff. So I feel like you guys just need something to kind of help cool that down a little bit. And I think that would be a good affirmation song for you guys, if you're up for listening to it, of course. I'm just here to help give some advice. So also I do have a inner child healing meditation that I recommend to all of my clients. Basically all of my clients, and I always link it in the description box of all of my videos. So if you guys feel like that could maybe help you guys to kind of calm down a little bit within, or maybe deal with a couple of things, or kind of address some more of the core wounds, you can check it out. It's for codependency, but honestly it works for a bunch of different stuff. So that's why I recommend it to so many different people, because it's not always codependency, right? But yes, now let's look at the healing focus for you guys for August. The healing focus. You know what's interesting? You guys have the Three of Cups, the Two of Swords, and the Page of Swords. So it's kind of making me think of what I was just telling you up here, right? With the whole, because this is like friendships and connections. So I feel like some of the people in your life, like I was saying, are going to be respectful of your boundaries. They're going to be respectful of this newer version of you that you're trying to kind of put out there and all of this stuff. But maybe because you guys are so like filled with passion and like self-protection, right? And you're just like, I'm done tolerating it. I think you guys could take it out on the people who are being like, who are kind of being respectful of your boundaries. So I feel like with this Two of Swords is talking about like, just, hey, use your discernment. If someone is respecting your boundaries, you don't have to let out your pent-up anger and frustration on them, right? Because that frustration and anger doesn't necessarily have to be coming because of, like, coming up within you because of them. It could just be coming to the surface because it was all of that. Remember we talked about the passive aggressiveness, right? Because you felt like you're being disrespected, your boundaries were being crossed, and you're being violated to a certain extent, right? So I feel like that stuff, it's like you repressed it for so long, right? That's where passive aggressiveness comes from. It's like repressed frustration, right? So now it's all coming to the surface, and especially with Leo season, and you guys kind of can't hold it in. So I feel like if you can find an outlet and discern, like, this is not meant to be unleashed on just anybody. Like, if there are people who are genuinely respecting these boundaries that you're setting and they're doing it with kindness, you don't have to be coming through so powerfully and forcefully with this overprotectiveness for yourself, okay? So I feel like they're asking you to kind of use your discernment and try to find a better outlet. So whether it's like speaking out loud to yourself, maybe, okay? Because I feel like some of you guys have got to verbalize it. So maybe pretend you're having a conversation with the people who hurt you and like tell them exactly what you're feeling. And then after you kind of unleashed it all, visualize them in like a white light and kind of send it up to God, right? So that it's like no bad blood between you guys. You're not sending hate or hurt, right? Because what that does is lower your vibration, you know? It always comes back. So there's no point in doing that, right? And I don't think you guys would do that anyway. So you can send them like white light afterwards, or see them in like a blue light of healing, like a pale blue light of healing, okay? And send it up to God. Or, you know, there's this technique. It's called Ho'oponopono. I think I said it wrong, but it's okay. And it's this Hawaiian forgiveness, I believe it's Hawaiian, at least from what I've heard, forgiveness technique, where you say, Okay, now this may be triggering for a couple of you guys, okay? It's not meant to be triggering. Maybe look into it to figure out, like, to see more of, like, how this forgiveness practice started and how it helps, because it helps people to let go of things, okay? So even if somebody hurt you, you would say these things, visualizing them. You can even say it to them, but you don't, you know, just, it's better to probably visualize or look at a picture and say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. Okay? And I know for some of you guys it could be triggering because you're like, why would I say I'm sorry and please forgive me to somebody who hurt me? Okay? I don't remember all of the details of this technique, but I remember hearing a story about like a psychologist or something in Hawaii, I think. Okay, don't quote me on any of this. I say don't quote me because I heard this like many years ago, so maybe look into it. But it was about the psychologist who it was in Hawaii or something, and there's like this prison that it had like some of the worst like criminals and stuff, and they were so violent that nobody could help them. Nobody could see them in person to help them, like psychologists or whatever. And so this one guy, he was given pictures of the inmates or whatever they're called, prisoners, and every day he would look at their picture and he would tell them those things. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And after a few months, it started being visible that they became less aggressive. Okay, so I don't remember the full extent of the specifics of why those are the words, but you can do it with people who have hurt you as well as to yourself, right? Because we tend to blame ourselves. Even a child, right? A child, what does a child do in times of crisis, in times of stuff going on that's chaos around them? They internalize it as if it's their fault, as if they're the cause, as if they're the reason. And so for that, we need forgiveness too, right? People who have experienced trauma, victims, tend to blame themselves for being victims. And so we need forgiveness there too. So it kind of feels like maybe you guys can give that a shot or look into it, okay? I'm going to spell it roughly from memory. I could be wrong because I don't have, hold on. It's like H-O, comma, O-P-O-N-O-P-O-N-O. I think that's it. So you guys can look into that. If you type it and you misspell it, it's gonna come up because it's close enough, okay? But yes, let's see what else I'm getting for you guys. Ah, yes, fear. Okay. That actually came up at some point where I think this is why you guys are putting on such a strong front too, right? And being overly aggressive or overly protective, or like it's almost like you're speaking really loudly so everybody can hear you, but you're not even doing it. Like I feel like the root cause of it is not so that other people can hear you, it's so that you can convince yourself. Right? So you could be telling everyone, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not doing it anymore. And it's not so much to tell those people because you keep repeating it. It's more so to remind yourself, because you're afraid of going back into those old patterns, because it has happened. It has happened quite a few times, a couple of times before. Okay, so I feel like there is fear there. And I think that's why the root chakra song was coming through for you guys, because the root chakra is our sense of fear and security. Okay, it's our fears and our sense of security. So I feel like that's one of the, because this is healing focus, right? So this is talking about healing those fears. Okay, healing those fears, healing the emotional abandonment wounds. Yeah, it's like healing the emotional abandonment wounds that you guys have experienced. For some of you guys, it could have been actual physical abandonment. For the majority of you guys, I feel like it is emotional abandonment, okay? Like your parents or like the people in your life could not really commit to being there for you, but then they took advantage of your energy or your light, or, you know, like it's like they came to you. It's like you guys were free use, okay? I'm sorry, I should have put a trigger warning before saying that because I feel like that could be triggering for some people. But it kind of feels like you guys were free use, okay? Energetically, maybe, you know, I'm so sorry to say for a couple of you guys, it could have been physically, okay? And I think you guys are scared of going back into that place where you guys are the victim and you're just taking this kind of abuse. And you're scared of one day when you need yourself to show up in that greatest moment, like of when you need you, that you guys are not going to come, that you're not going to show up, you're not going to be there to take care of yourself, to defend yourself, that you're going to go back into that old pattern, into that old, like, being a victim and getting stuck in the same routine, in the same situation, in that same pattern again. Okay? And I'm here to tell you guys, you are not going to get stuck. It's not about you guys convincing everybody else around you. It's about you guys convincing yourselves that you can trust you to do what is best for you. You can trust yourself to take care of you, okay? So it's okay that you're screaming a little louder now, right? I'm independent, I have boundaries, I can take care of myself. It's okay, because like I said, it's like most of this is for you anyway. But don't let it cloud your judgment. Don't let it go into fears, because there's a point where I put your deck, like all the cards when they were in a stack, I put them down and to the side so that I can start the intro for your group after I shuffled. And for a moment there was I thought I saw a bug, okay? And I was like, you know, but I know that I didn't actually see one. It was just like, I don't know why for a moment it felt that way. And I remember thinking fear, and I was like, I kind of forgot it until I saw this Eight of Swords. So I feel like the fears are things like, this is stuff that has been buried deep inside of you. You guys kind of put it into your subconscious because it was uncomfortable and you had to keep living. You had to keep dealing with life. And when people experience deep-seated trauma, you know, a part of the psyche kind of breaks. And it's in order for the person to keep living, to survive, a part of the psyche breaks, okay? And I feel like for you guys, this is really about you guys coming back to yourself, taking all of those pieces that were you and bringing it back together, okay? Some of you guys could be interested in shamanism and stuff like that. I think that's going to be really good for you guys. I don't think you guys are ready for it just yet, okay? I feel like it would be a little too intense, a little too painful, and too drastic. You don't have to put yourself in a drastic situation. You are a victim of hurt, okay? You were a victim of hurt, okay? Which means it's not fair for you to hurt yourself. If somebody forced themselves, whether it was energetically, you know, or their baggage, or possibly trigger warning, okay, like physically onto you, if they forced themselves onto you guys, regardless of how they did it, emotionally, energetically, physically, this is the way that you guys have learned to kind of deal with things, to cope with things, to take things on. And I know that you guys want to rush and speed up this healing process, but it's not fair for you guys to now force yourself or what you want for yourself onto you, right? You've got to think of yourself as a child and a parent, or a child and an adult. And that child who has experienced people forcing things onto them is not going to look at you forcing this kind of like, I'm doing this for you, this is why we've got to do it. The child is not going to see it as something for them, right? Because how many parents and how many cultures, like cultures where people are considered minorities or whatever, or they're not first world countries, have we experienced like relatives saying things like, I'm doing this for you, but they're actually doing something that hurts the child, right? Like in some cultures, as twisted as it can be, some people would even say that they're physically harming their child for the child so that they can learn, you know, like they're doing it because you need to get an idea of what reality looks like and what the world is or whatever. And it's like, that is not love. Forcing something onto a child is not giving them love. Even if you're trying to force something good onto the child, that is not love. The child is not going to look at that as love. The child is going to look at that as you keep trying to push something onto me. Okay? So don't try to force your way through healing. Don't try to force your way through rushing the process. It's going to be a journey. Okay? And it's going to take some time. And you guys are going to come out of this place. And it's going to be beautiful. And it's going to be painful. And it's going to be a mixed bag of emotions where there are points where you're crying from sadness, from grief, from release of the past, and then when you're crying from gratitude. And it could also happen all at the same time. And you could be crying because you finally understand what it could feel like to receive love. You know, from the most important person that you can possibly receive love from yourself. Okay, so I feel like it's a little bit of a journey for you guys, and Divine wants you guys to focus on healing that. It's going to take some time. It's going to be step-by-step process. But the first step for you guys is the root chakra. It's your base. It's your sense of security, okay? First, you have to convince that inner child that it is safe for them to come out of a little cave that they've been hiding in. It is safe for them to come out and express themselves. Once you feel safe, you can start letting go of that anger in a more effective way that is not like harming you, and you can harm yourself by ending connections that would actually have been good for you, by sabotaging them, right, out of anger or frustration. So it's like, so that you don't do things that can harm you, okay? And remember, guys, the guidance here too is like, we're here for you, we're supporting you. You guys have come so far. Yes, there's still more to go, but life is like, healing is literally a life's work. So don't try to think of it as like, I reached this landmark and then this landmark and then this landmark, and it's like I have to keep going to the next landmark. It's like, oh, this is done and now there's this. Okay, now I've got to go towards this. It's like, no, it's going to be like that for the whole of your life, okay? There's always going to be something new that gets uncovered, something new that's got to be healed. Or sometimes it's revisiting an old wound, okay? There's always going to be something. So don't try to rush through the process, because then you're rushing through your life, right? It's kind of like, you know, when somebody lives paycheck to paycheck, okay? Or they count days based off of when they get paid. And if they're getting paid bi-weekly, they're like waiting for that paycheck, they get their paycheck, and then they just count down the days until the next paycheck in 2 weeks. And then they do that again until the next paycheck in the next 2 weeks. And just like that, a month has gone by. Because they didn't really do anything in that month, except for count down the days until the next paycheck. Right? So it's kind of the same thing. Don't think about it as like the next step, the next step, the next step. Think about it as what you're currently experiencing, what you're going through, and then just sit with it for a little. And then see in your life how your life is changing, because you guys are progressing emotionally and maturely and healing, okay? All right, now let's get into the final messages we had here. Yeah, you see, like this was talking about the partnerships, balance, one-on-one relationships. You guys are healing that connection. Some of you guys could have been waiting for love for a long time, okay? Like a real kind of love that you guys have been searching for with all of your heart, you know, that is unconditional. But I've got to tell you guys, you know, as unpleasant as it may be to hear in this moment, like this kind of love has to come from you guys first. Because when you do that, you are breaking the old pattern of how you experienced being loved, okay? Because it's kind of like there's this like little story or fable or whatever, this saying about an elephant, a caged elephant. If an elephant was caged, like they were tied to a post for a long time, and then somebody came and they removed the chain and told the elephant, you're free. And they removed the post even. The elephant is still going to stand there because it has been engraved in them to keep coming back to this place. Right? That's what you guys are healing. if somebody has an abandonment wound, they're going to keep attracting connections with people who are either emotionally unavailable, physically unavailable, like they could already be in a relationship, or they have a long distance kind of a thing going, or it's just only going to be connections that never move past the digital stage, right? Where you guys are just texting or talking online or video chatting, but you guys don't actually ever meet up. You know, on some level, that person is going to continue, the people you attract are going to continue to be unavailable to you. And that's because the core fundamental belief of somebody who has abandonment issues is that they're always going to be left alone. And so they're never going to look for somebody who is going to actually stay, because they don't know how to do that, right? They don't know what that feels like, what that looks like. Their comfort zone is abandonment, as like messed up as that may seem, okay? Like I mentioned earlier, you know, in your reading, the comfort zone is not always something like silly, like something nice, as like, I just like staying at home and not going out for trying new things. The comfort zone can be a place of trauma, because it's that core fundamental belief that you keep coming back to, because that's all you know, right? So until you guys realize that you truly deserve unconditional love, it's about healing that core wound. The people that you guys will continue to be attracted to or attract into your life may have things that kind of remind you of that. It won't always feel it. And if it's somebody that actually is healthy for you and that would want to stay, you guys either wouldn't be attracted to them, or you would think that they're boring. You know, a calm, peaceful, good relationship would feel too boring, because there's not passion. There's not drama, okay? So that was just an example, but that's why it's important for it to come from you guys first. It's not because, and it's, you literally teach other people how to treat you by loving yourself first, right? If you have extremely high, like if you guys see yourself in an extremely high light, you're not going to take somebody who treats you less than that, right? If you see yourself as a king or a queen, you're not going to be taking somebody who treats you like a peasant. So it's kind of like that too, all right? So that's why you also have the like nurturing, patience, refinement. This is all about you guys nurturing yourselves and refining those core beliefs. How you see yourself, how you see connections and relationship in your life. What do you think a relationship or a connection is, you know? What do you feel it's supposed to be giving to you? What of those things on that list do you feel like you could be giving to you? Right? So just a couple of things to think about. And with Neptune, what really stands out here is like you guys have a good intuition, but until you guys learn to trust that you guys can take care of yourself and that you are trustworthy to make life decisions for you, okay? I feel like there could be a sense of escapism, like things can get overwhelming, but I feel you guys are you're kind of breaking through with that, okay? Let's get the dice as the final message here. All right, we've got Mars, Sagittarius, the 12th house, and 16. Okay, 16 is the Tower. We also have the Tower on the bottom of the deck here, okay? And funnily enough, underneath that, we have the Empress, which I think is funny because you guys have the Emperor. So it's kind of like bringing things into balance, but the Tower came up on the bottom of the deck here. You also have the Guardian of Pentacles, which is the Queen of Pentacles, which for me is self-nurturing. It's kind of like taking care of yourself. So that goes with other stuff here. The 12th house is the final house. It is completion. Sagittarius is expansion. Mars is that kind of like aggressive action that we were talking about, right? And passion that we were talking about, like that like kind of, it is a little bit aggressive, but like that self-protection is coming through this Mars. And 16 is giving me the Tower vibes, okay? So I feel like drastic change is coming into your life. It's just going to take a little bit of time. And you guys are coming into this place of expansion. It is an expansion of consciousness because you guys are going through this healing. It's just you kind of have to overcome this hump, okay, that we were talking about with like the way that you're approaching the situation, all this stuff, okay? And yeah, and you guys are coming to a finale here. You are, because you had the Fool card earlier, then you have 12 here, which is closing a cycle, okay? But 12 is also the Neptune house, which is that escapism. So I think it's touching on that too. You guys are kind of done running away, but you guys need to trust yourselves that you're done running away, okay? All right, group 1, that was your reading. I think some of you guys may have another group, okay? A couple of you guys, this could be like past energy. So I feel like there could have been a couple of you guys that chose 2 groups. So something you guys could have been currently overcoming. But yeah, you guys are still releasing those old patterns, okay? So if you guys did choose 2 groups, this is your confirmation for that, okay? But yeah, you guys have got this, okay? You can do it. I believe in you. Or that's not the right choice of words, right? I have faith in you, okay? I have faith in you guys. You can do this. I know you can. All right. Okay, group 1, that was your reading. I know there may have been a bit of like trigger warning things that I didn't realize we would be talking about triggering things. That's why I didn't give out the trigger warning. So I hope you guys are okay with the stuff that I mentioned. Okay. I hope that it wasn't in a harsh way. So I'm hoping that it was mentioned as gentle as it could be. Okay. And like I said, there are a couple of resources that I provided, which was the meditation, which is in the description box, okay? The I Am Safe Root Chakra song, you guys can find that in the playlist on my channel, on this channel, okay? And the Ho'oponopono, which you guys can give a try if you guys look into it, if you feel comfortable, all right? Because I know it can be kind of triggering for people who have experienced certain kinds of abuse to think that you have to say those things to the abuser. You can start by saying those things to yourself. And if you're saying that to the person who you felt was kind of your abuser, or not kind of, was the abuser, just know that you're not even saying it for them. You're doing it so that you can free yourself from them, okay? Because when we hold on to that hurt on some level, we hold on to that connection. And on some level, you know, actually the next thing I was going to say doesn't matter, but it's like so that you guys can free yourself of the tie between you guys, okay? All right, group 1. I love you guys very much, okay? If you guys felt like you got something out of this reading, out of this video, I know there was a lot of intense stuff. I would appreciate if you guys gave it a thumbs up. I've got other stuff on my channel too if you guys are interested. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below, you know, with anything that you guys are comfortable sharing, or even if you guys tried out maybe the affirmation song or the meditation or anything along those lines. I'd love to hear from you guys. And also, if you guys are up for it, if you would like to subscribe to the channel, that would be very much appreciated, as I am trying to keep posting new content for you guys every week. And yeah, for those of you guys who are interested in a personal private reading or a custom crystal bracelet, or a custom affirmation song, you guys can reach out to me through the contacts page on my website or through my email on the description box below. And yeah, I'm also on Instagram, you guys, if you want to say hi. I was doing good about being active, and then I kind of had some personal stuff going on, and I was like, I lost the flow I had, but I'm gonna get back to it, you know, the flow on Instagram, which is gonna be really, it's mainly about giving content for you guys, so yes. But yeah, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, okay? I hope that this reading helped. I'm sending you guys so much unconditional love, okay? So much light. And I love you guys. I love you, group 1, all right? I'll see you guys in the next reading. I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys. Hey, group 2. Welcome to your reading, my friends. This is your group if you guys chose the Joy card. Here it be. Let's set your card to the side. I'm going to ring the singing bowl for you. And let's take a look at your cards. So first we're going to be looking, you guys, at the energy check, which will be at the top, where you guys are currently at, what's currently going on, all that jazz. And then we're going to be taking a peek-see at what you have the opportunity to leave behind in the month of July. Also, I just wanted to say, you guys, before I started shuffling your cards, I don't know if it'll come up or if it'll be relevant. We shall see. But I heard the Phantom of the Opera, a couple of songs. So it was All I Ask of You, the regular song, and a little bit of the reprise. And then I also heard Think of Me. So interesting. Okay. And also, actually, you know what? I'll mention the rest after we get into your cards. So let's see what we've got. Yeah, I was gonna say there was a little bit of, okay, I'll get to it after. All right, so we've got the Knight of Cups, the Magician. Wow, you guys have some prominent cards because you also have the Hierophant. So that's kind of cool stuff. Then we've got the Two of Pentacles. We also have the Justice card. Wow, so many major arcana cards. The Ace of Cups and a lot of cup energy. The Page, oh yes, the Page of Pentacles. And the World. Wow. Okay, we'll look at the stuff after. So yes, something I did want to mention also is I heard a little bit of something about you guys like and love. Okay, you guys love and love. But yeah, let's see what we've got here first. Okay, give me one sec, guys. I feel like you guys are currently in the process, or actually you have been in the process of, whoa, that's so funny. I was about to say giving yourself up. That's not what I wanted to say, but I was about to say it. So I feel like you guys have been in the process of opening your heart up to love. Okay? You guys have been already on this journey. And maybe in the last year, give or take, okay? Or so, right? You guys have really been kind of, I feel like you guys have laid out a lot of groundwork for you guys to finally feel comfortable to open your heart. So I feel like you guys started opening your heart chakra probably sometime, like, I was gonna say a long time ago. I mean, for some of you guys it could have been, but I feel like you guys opening your heart was not, it was like you opening your heart chakra, but it wasn't you guys being completely ready for love. But I feel like you guys are the group that is completely like coming into the place where you are getting ready for love. And I say getting ready because you guys are ready, but I feel like there's still a couple of things that need to happen before you guys can have that kind of love that you are looking for. Okay? And they're all things that are within your control and things that are not. Okay? The parts that are not are the process of how long it takes. The parts that are how adamantly you work towards it. Okay? So I do feel like you guys are in a very blessed period in your life too. Though it may not feel like it for a couple of you guys, only because in the process of opening your heart up to somebody, you may not exactly get what you're looking for in the connection, or it may not be like, it's kind of like you've got to kiss a few toads or a few frogs before you get your prince or princess. Okay, so it kind of feels like that. So you guys are opening up your heart, which means now you're getting into this place where maybe before you weren't as familiar with a lot of romantic love, but you guys are coming into that place where you're getting more attention and attraction is kind of around you, you know, attractiveness, because you guys have cultivated yourself for quite a bit of time. You know, it's almost like seeing, you know, when you have an egg, intubating, is that the right word? Intubating, is that it? Incubating, I think, right? It's like when you put like a warm light on it. And you guys, I'm gonna be completely honest with you, while I'm talking about this, I started getting stimulation in my root chakra. Okay, and it is the stimulation that is not talking about safety and security or fear, but, you know, kind of like the animalistic stimulation. So it is so interesting because I feel like people must think of you guys as this pure light, okay? Because as this is happening as I'm talking about you guys incubating or whatever the word is, right? And like finally getting ready, like you guys are finally cracking the shell to kind of hatch, and you guys have already cracked little, like that's what you guys were going through. You guys were incubating for that time, and now you guys are you're getting to this place where you have, your head is out of the eggshell, okay? You guys are coming out of the eggshell, like you're coming out of the eggshell. And people are looking at you, and it kind of feels like, because I felt that stimulation, some of you guys may have gone on board and you were like, okay, like I'm getting attention now, okay, cool. But at the same time, it also feels like it's like something you wanted, but something at the same time that you kind of don't, because you've got other priorities going on in your life, okay? It feels like you guys are doing a bunch of other things that are good for you. So if you guys are entrepreneurs, you're going about doing things that are good for you in your business, or just in general, whether you're entrepreneurs or not, like things that are good for you in your career, okay? Like I feel like you guys are bringing in some level of abundance, like it's touching other parts of your life, but it's going to start coming into your life as money too, okay? Yeah, and I'm starting to get that stimulation again too. So I feel like you guys could also have had a little bit of a sexual revolution for yourself too, where you kind of look at your body as something for you. Pleasure is something that you get to experience. It is for you. It's not for whoever else you could have encountered it with. And that's kind of a big deal too, right? So this is really, you guys are that empowerment group that I get, you know, my empowerment group. So, I do feel like, again, this empowerment is kind of in process, and you guys are getting there. You are getting the bag, okay? You are getting the money, the shmoney. You are getting the abundance, the prosperity. It is coming to you. And again, it's kind of like you wanted the attention, you wanted to be desirable at some point in your life, and now you guys are becoming desirable. But now that you guys are becoming desirable, you're like, I don't want to entertain something that is not in alignment for me. And I feel like for those of you who could have had a crush on somebody, or who could, this part is kind of a mixed bag, okay? Because I feel like you guys are at slightly different stages. It's a general reading. But for a couple of you guys, there could have been an interest in somebody that you felt a connection with and you felt comfortable or safe with them. But then something happened and there was some form of rejection or kind of like an unavailability to you, okay? And then there's somebody else that kind of comes in and they check a couple of things on the list of things that you may want. They haven't exactly presented their offer yet, but you kind of get this vibe. Trust your vibe, you guys, okay? You guys are not being paranoid and you're not being conceited. If you feel like somebody is interested in you, I feel like you guys are the group that knows that for a fact, okay? So you guys have gotten to a place where you're secure enough to not just be talking yourself up or talking yourself down. You have to trust that, okay? So trust the fact that you know if somebody is actually attracted to you or not. So I feel like you guys can kind of sense when people are like sexually attracted to you, okay? And yeah, I feel like on some level, it's like part of you guys, though it's something that you wanted, you're just like, I don't want the drama, okay? So it's kind of like you guys are going into this, I was gonna say dating field or dating pool, but it's like, again, everyone's in a slightly different stage of it. So some of you guys are going into the dating pool, some of you guys have dipped a toe and you're just like, okay, this is so much drama, I can see why I wasn't in a relationship for some time, okay? So I know this is kind of funny that it just went into love, because you guys have some beautiful, powerful cards, and it feels like in every other aspect of your life, you guys are starting to get like good results, okay? It's kind of like it's coming in, you know, you've been calling it in for some time now, for a few years now, okay? And it's starting to come in, and money is going to be part of that. You guys are going to start getting some kind of money, okay? God is rewarding you for your efforts, for your good work. You guys have been working hard for the last couple of years, okay? Even longer than that. This is a long journey, but in the last couple of years especially, okay? But and again, it just feels like you guys going through, like, again, it's that example of kissing the frogs before you get the prince or princess, okay? It just feels like you guys have had to, like, you want a specific connection or something, and you're gonna have to go out and try getting it. And I'm not saying going on dating apps or something, but it's like you've got to test the waters, okay? So, and I feel like in the process of testing the waters, or even in the start, like after you do it, it's kind of like you're just like, I don't want to deal with the drama. Okay, so it's funny, right? This Two of Pentacles is very confusing because it's like something you want but you don't, you know. It's like, I want this but I don't want to deal with it, or like, this is, I want this but like I just want the real thing. Okay, everything else in between is kind of too much drama for me. Like, I don't know, it's something along those lines, but everything else seems to be going okay. All right, and if you guys have some ups and downs or whatever, or some low days, it even feels like if you're sad, you're not really sad. And that's not me trying to belittle your emotions. It just kind of feels like if you're down, it's like you could be down, but your body feels good, you know? It's almost like, I don't want to say it's like an out-of-body thing, but it's kind of like everything seems okay. Everything's okay. I feel good inside and outside. My external is okay. It's just kind of like a passing wave or something. I don't even know. Like the sadness, it's not that it's not real sadness. It's just kind of like an echo of something or whatever, or it's kind of confusing, to be honest with you. But yes, that's kind of what we've got going with the energy check. I know it's all over the place, but I kind of feel like a couple of you guys are in slightly different stages of this, which is why it was kind of all over the place. But yes, now let's take a look at what you guys have the opportunity to leave behind in the month of July. Okay. Okay, sorry guys, I'm still picking up the picture. Give me one sec. Okay, I have the picture, but for whatever reason, it's like, I don't want to talk. So give me 1 second, you guys. Let me just make sure I've got it all. Yeah, okay. It kind of feels like, because this is not, these aren't bad cards. This isn't negative stuff. Yeah, I kind of feel as though, pardon me, pardon moi, in the month of July, it doesn't feel like you guys are leaving behind too much, to be completely honest with you. I think if, for those of you guys who there was somebody that kind of like you dipped your toe in with, and then it's like you guys weren't that hurt, but it gave you some kind of realization or understanding or something about yourself, or whatever it is that you're looking for, some kind of connection, whatever. I feel like you guys weren't hurt that deep by it, but at the same time, it's like the hurt that you did feel was actually hurts from all of the past coming through to be let go, so that you can welcome in a new real kind of love when it comes to you. So it kind of feels like that is something that you guys are leaving behind in July, or getting close to leaving behind in July, like that kind of emotional response, like those emotions from the past that were coming out, they were coming through so they can come out. So it feels like those things are going to get left behind. I also feel like you guys are actually going to be moving on from this like drama situation, and like getting to the place where you're starting to get the income part coming through. Okay, so yes, I feel like you guys are still going to be looking desirable to people. It's just your light, okay? People can't help it. Even if you haven't changed anything physically, it is your light. But I do think that things are going to be changing a little bit physically for you guys. I think some of you guys are going to lose a little bit of weight, okay, to be completely honest with you, because this yellow is making me think of the solar plexus. And the Magician is here, and it's just, I don't know why, but I'm kind of feeling a couple of you guys could just, even if you don't go to the gym, it just feels like you guys could be dropping a couple of pounds, or not, yeah, shedding. Let's use shedding. That's a better word. So it feels like you guys could be shedding a little bit of weight. Hopefully that's not an issue for people who are like, you know, super like thin and like for some people it's a problem if they're shedding weight. Okay, so I feel like it's kind of balancing out. So for those of you guys who are overweight, or who you were like, oh, I just have 5 pounds I would like to kind of nick off, so I feel like for those of you guys, the weight is kind of shedding, and I do feel that is a majority of you. For the few of you guys that could be like too, like, you know, your way of thinking maybe too skinny, or like health wise like a little too thin, you guys are gonna kind of round up a little bit. For those of you who are gaining weight, it doesn't feel like it's too much, but it kind of feels like 5 pounds or what, I don't know, something along that ballpark. So it kind of feels like you guys, your body is heading in the direction of maybe what your past self would have considered desirable. So it's not going to be like a completely drastic change, but I do feel like it's kind of happening naturally. Like some of you guys may go to the gym, but I don't think this is even really the gym. This is just you guys. This is your energy. This is you guys radiating that love, that light, this transformation that you guys have worked so hard on over all of these years, and especially the last couple of years. But it's been like 7 years or something in the works. Okay, it's been some time. So you guys have really been working on it, and I feel like you guys are actually becoming more attractive, okay? Whether you are physically working towards it or not. I feel like some of you guys could even, like the way the clothes that you guys wear could be changing too. Like it may not feel like your normal style, but it's because you guys are not your old self anymore. You're not your hurt self anymore, okay? Like you guys were a certain way when you were kids, but you probably don't remember it because, you know, you were kids. And I feel, oh my, oh, I'm so sorry, the whole table moved. Give me a sec, you guys. This is kind of, what is going on with the furniture during this reading? That was a little scary. Yeah, I say that because like during group 1's reading, my chair malfunctioned, okay? It just completely went down. And like during your reading, my table, which is sturdy, at least I would like to think, it's an expensive table, it should be sturdy, just moved, okay? That was kind of weird. And it's never happened before. It's never been like light or something. So, okay, what is going on with the furniture? The furniture is speaking today. Okay. But yes, yeah, I feel like it's a new version of you guys, okay? We were talking about like that whole incubating. So like in July, you guys have started coming out of that shell. And I'm not talking about cracking through, like you guys had cracked through the month before or something. Now you guys are like coming out, and like in August, you guys are already completely out of your shell, and you had already taken a couple of steps. So like now it's just about you being this cute little baby chick, like, you know, tweet, 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 you know what I mean? This is even the color of a baby chick, right? This cute little yellowy white kind of a, it's really yellow. It's a very pale yellow, but you know, it's okay. That's besides the point. But yeah, so I feel like it's not so much what you guys are, like there is a couple of things you guys are leaving behind, but it's more so what you guys are moving forward into. And yeah, so I do feel like some of you guys are shedding some weight for the, you know, we already talked about that. But yes, so, and the clothes are different. Yeah, like it feels like, it almost kind of feels as though you get things that you're like, this looks good on me, but it doesn't feel right. But you still get it anyway. And then you look at it in your closet and you're like, this is not me. This is not the kind of clothes that I wear. Like, I never really wore this kind of thing. It's not really my style. But like, you're gonna wear it anyway, okay? And it doesn't feel comfortable because it's like, you guys are in completely new territory. This is that new version of you. So it's not things that you're going to be comfortable with or that make sense, but like you're going to keep doing it anyway. Like your body, just like I mentioned earlier, your body knows, your gut feeling knows, your instinct knows, okay? You guys are the group where you guys have done the work, so you got to trust yourself, okay? Your body is telling you guys what it is. It's giving you hints, it's giving you clues. So the weight dropping, the clothes changing, okay? I just kind of feel like this is all part of it. Getting ready for love, okay? The real kind of love. But like I said, you guys have got to kiss a couple of frogs first, I'm not saying that you're going to be getting into actual relationships with these people, because it doesn't feel like whatever is going on with the frogs is long term. It just kind of feels like you guys are communicating with each other. Or like, yeah. It's not even like you guys are going to be talking to them like a real romantic so much. Like, it doesn't feel like these connections get to be developed very far, because they're not meant for you guys to get into actual real relationships with these people. This is just like, and this is actually God's gift to you, that you don't get to get into real relationships with these frogs. It's a gift to you because they're like, we want you to test the waters, but we're going to keep you from going through like all of the extra drama. Because you guys are going to be like, oh, these frogs are so much drama. And the universe is like, child, it could have been so much more drama. We are actually protecting you, but you have got to go and kiss a couple of frogs, you know? And I don't think you guys are actually going to be kissing these people. I feel like it's going to be like, I think the kissing is like that communication. You know, you've got to talk to a couple of frogs first before you guys get your mate, your prince or princess. So, and that's your read. No, I'm kidding. There's a whole nother section, but I feel like you guys are the group that it just kind of went a completely different turn. So your heart is only continuing to open more as you guys balance within yourself the healing and that nurturing and unconditional love. You guys are really doing good for yourself. You guys are going to feel like you're not ready for the connection when it comes to you, and that's okay. That's normal. You're going to feel that way because you guys have been working on yourself for so long, for such a long time, that like it's become a habit for you to feel like, oh, I've got a little bit more work to do before I can get this thing, you know? So I feel like that's kind of the mindset you guys have learned to be in the habit of thinking in. So yes, okay. Next, we're going to be looking at your material world focus for the month of August. I can speak. And what it is that you guys are working on, what Divine would like you to focus on healing in the month of August, okay? But before we get into that, I would just like to kind of point out to you guys, I feel like you guys are going to be getting new hair growth. So for those of you guys who maybe had, okay, this could be like super specific for like maybe one or two of you guys. If it applies to you, I'd love to know in the comments. But for those of you guys who could have experienced some kind of hair loss, whether it was due to COVID or stress in general, okay, like I feel like it could have been stress for some of you guys too, and stuff like that, or illness in general, whatever it could be, some kind of hair loss that you guys experienced and all of this stuff, or maybe it was like a detox symptom too. I feel like you guys are going to be experiencing new hair growth, okay, on your scalp. So I feel like that's part of your glow up. Yes, that's it. You guys are going through a glow up. The weight, okay, like getting closer to that desirable body that like it was considered desirable by you guys a long time ago. And so God's being like, okay, I'm giving you the body that's good for you, but it's kind of looking like your desirable body. So it's like, it's just this glow up, this energetic glow up is going to show in so many ways. And so part of those things is going to be hair growth. So I feel like if you guys were worried about losing some hair, it's like that hair is coming back. So if you notice that you're brushing your hair and a lot is coming out, don't worry about it too much. Think of it as actually releasing the old, okay? Because you guys are getting new hair growth, I'm seeing. So that's going to be coming in for you guys. Okay, closer to the end of August, because, you know, hair be taking time, but that's kind of how it feels like. So for whoever that message was meant to be for, let's see, we've got the 9 of Swords. Cute little rabbit. The 4 of Wands. Y'all, I know this group, okay? I know you guys because these are similar cards to a not so long ago reading. The 9 of Pentacles. I don't remember which reading I did that it was and which group it was, but I think if you guys chose that group and you chose this group, you know who I'm talking about. We've got the Sun. How cute. How special. The Sun. We got the devil. It flipped out too. This was the one card that flipped out. And now it almost fell out too. Just now when I was kind of giving you the cards. The Three of Cups. The Three of Cups. The Three of the Cups. Okay. Oh, this is giving heavy energy, but not heavy in like the way that you could be thinking of maybe from the past. Is giving heavy energy, kind of like that unwanted attention. So kind of like we were talking about with like these people coming in, it's just too much drama, you know, like I don't need this right now. With, you know, it's kind of like oh yep, and I'm feeling that stimulation in the root chakra again as I'm talking about it. Yeah, I'm telling you, you guys are coming across as real like sexy right now. So, and it's going to be even more so in the month of August. Like people are going to be in heat for you, and I just feel like you guys are going to be like, can you not? Like, I'm trying to be prosperous and like live my life, and like when I attract it's not even like you guys are adamantly working on attracting your person too. It's just you guys are like, this person is coming when they're coming, but like, can you not? You know, like it really feels like that. Like you're really like, can you please just get away from me? Like, I don't want to deal with this right now. And God is saying you guys have got to deal with it. It's kind of part of an answered prayer, and it is a test, okay? It's not even that it's a test. It's just kind of like a trial. I don't know why, but it's like a trial period in your life, and it's coming through with these connections, okay, with these romantic partners, and they're not even real. It's not even that they're situationships. It's like people who are interested in you guys, and you kind of have got to just go through them. I don't know why, but it's almost like if, for example, right, God was like, you've got 10 people to go through, and then you can, like 10 people are part of your kind of growth or whatever, and then you can meet your person. Person will be, oh, I didn't even think of that. Your person will be number 11. How cute is that? Okay. But it's like God is giving you the opportunity of doing it like speed dating, like speed runs, okay? Like literally it's like you meet what person 1, person 2, person 3, and you're just like, I don't want to do this, you know, and the universe is making it as quickly as possible. Okay. They're literally like, you were only talking to person 4 for like 4 days, you know, isn't that good enough? Or like 2 weeks, and then it's kind of done, and it wasn't even like full conversations, you know, and then you got to shut that down, and now you're going to be moving on to person 5. Like, you see, it's not like we're giving you like 10 full relationships, like each one 2 years, 1 year, 3 years, 4 years. It's just kind of like, they're not even a couple of months, you know, they're just like a couple of weeks each, you know, and you guys have already gone through a couple of these frogs. So I feel like the universe, I don't know why, I really don't, but it really feels like they're kind of going in and saying, you guys have a set number of people that you're supposed to, like a set number of frogs that you're supposed to kiss before you can get to your number 11. We can't speed that up. It's got to happen like that. Maybe it's like in your karmic contract to come across these other, like these frogs. So like, they're like, it's unavoidable. You guys signed up for it. You chose it. All we can do is kind of speed up the process. So I feel like it's almost like you guys are at like some kind of universal like government office, right? And they're kind of like, or like a universal DMV, which is like, I don't know what they would be the equivalents of in other countries. I don't know if they're called that, but it's like basically where you go to get your ID and your driver's license, like the formal kind of stuff, your passport. You would go there to get a passport, all this stuff, okay? So it's like you guys are going to this universal DMV, and you're just like, okay, I want to... you guys told me that I was going to get my passport, but you didn't tell me it was going to be like 5 steps in the process. And they're like, look, for most people, these 5 steps can take 3 years, okay? But there's no way that you can avoid it. Like, this is what the government requires, okay? That is how you get a passport. So what we can do for you, the only thing we can do for you is speed up. We can expedite the process, but you've still got to bring us these 5 things, okay? So it kind of feels like that. Like, you guys have got to go through these kind of easy breezy connections, which are going to feel troublesome to you guys. I don't know why I didn't even reveal the rest of your cards, but yeah, like, that's kind of what this energy is. All right, it's a little bit of a hassle. It's a little annoying because you guys are going to be like, can you not, like, can you just leave me alone? It is so funny because I feel like before, you guys, like a while ago, you guys could have wished that you were desirable, and now that you guys are desirable, you're just kind of like, can you just let me live my life? Like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want you. You are not the one, okay? Can you get away? Thank you. Respectfully. It's kind of funny. Okay, let's get into the rest of your cards. We've got the 3 of Coins. The Revealer, which is the High Priestess. Remember, we were talking about that trust. Knowing that you guys, your where is that from? The nuggle? The niggle? I don't know. Kind of, whatever. Your instinct is coming through. The Hanged One. 6 of Ariel, which is 6 of Pentacles, and it says material needs get fulfilled in magical and unexpected ways. Acts of kindness, giving or receiving with a grateful heart. With grateful heart. Okay. 8 of Michael, so 8 of Swords. You can be free. Make a courageous choice to change your situation, not seeing things clearly. Okay. Fanta. 7 of Ariel, which is 7 of Coins or Pentacles. Pentacles. You have invested wisely. Have patience and wait for the harvest. Review your progress and make plans for the next endeavor. Okay. Dirk. 54. Ooh, how cute. Okay. Trust your innocence. Look at that. There's so much talk about trust, and this is kind of pointing at trusting yourself. But remember, we talked about, I don't know if I mentioned it. Did I mention it? I thought it, but when I was giving you guys that chick example of the chick hatching, it's kind of like there's an innocence about you guys. Like this, oh, I think I mentioned it when I talked about your light, like the purity or something. Like that is kind of coming through for you guys too, and that's something that these people are attracted to. It feels like for the majority of you guys are the feminine, and it's like that masculine energy is attracted to that purity, okay? And they're just kind of like, oh my goodness. And yeah, okay. Then we've also got Cardinal with Initiation, Spark, and Vision. Okay, I'll put it here. Kind of looks like that. We have the 12th house with Karma, Shadow, and Secrets. Yeah, this is kind of giving me that vibe of the spiritual universal DMV kind of coming through. They're like, we can't give you the answers as to why you've got to go through these 10 people before you get to your special number 11, but this kind of has to do with some kind of mystery. I really don't, like, they're not giving me, it's so curious, right? I'm so curious. Okay, anyway. Then we have Imam Coily with Nader, Origins, and Inner Child. Okay, because we also have the Sun, and we're entering Leo season. We also have Trine with Auspiciousness, Positivity, and Luck. Okay, we were talking about that too a little bit. And Mercury with Communication, Correspondence, and Expression. Okay. Oh my goodness, that's the graduation song. The college, I think it's college graduation song came into my mind just now. Also, I wanted to show you guys the bottom of the deck here. We've got Ceres with self-care, wellness, and agriculture, okay? But that is so funny that the graduation song just came in. Okay, we'll talk about it in a sec. Oh, graduation, by the way, remember we were talking about like you guys hatching and whatever. This, you guys are in the new beginning. You guys are getting closer and closer to your future spouse. I don't know why I have to specify that it's your future spouse, but it just kind of came out that way. It's like you guys are getting closer and closer. You guys are like you're passing these tests left and right, okay? So you guys are doing really good. All right, now let's take a look at your material world focus. Okay. Okay, this Nine of Swords is kind of making me think of that Devil card. Y'all, this Nine of Swords, this is kind of funny. Give me one sec, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry I keep yawning during your thingy. It's kind of late, to be completely honest with you. I need to stop filming these so late at night. I don't know why I do it. I just, you know how everybody's got their own process? Ever since I got this, like, ever since I moved, I kind of have been filming late at night. But yeah, so we've got the Nine of Swords. This Nine of Swords is making me think, this is you, okay? And these are the people in pursuit of you, okay? And you guys are just like, can you leave me alone? I just want to be a little rabbit. I want to be pure. I want to jump around. Because the rabbit in a couple of animal decks, oracle decks that I've got, the rabbit, I'm thinking specifically of the, Into the Wild? Spirit of the Wild. What are they called? Animal spirit. Ah! One sec. Did I just break my... Y'all, this is... I don't even know what to say. This is unbelievable. Why is my furniture acting up? My furniture is acting up. It's so odd. Okay, the Wild Unknown. That's what it is. The Wild Unknown. The Wild Unknown... I don't remember what the Empress card is in this deck. Oh, it's a tree. Okay, yeah. But in the Oracle deck, the Animal Spirit Oracle deck by Kim Kranz, I think her name is, from the Wild Unknown thing, okay? There's a rabbit card, and it gives off Empress vibes, okay? Because the Empress is fertile, all right? The Empress is fertile, and rabbits are known for fertility, okay? They are kind of a symbol of fertility and luck and all that. So I'm also getting like the purity, because this is a bit of a white rabbit, right? It looks gray in the dark, but it's a white rabbit. And I feel like, remember, and it's so funny too, because it's 9 swords coming at this rabbit, and I was saying 10. So it's like, remember I mentioned at the beginning, like some of you guys could have already gone through one of them, or like you're coming out of that or whatever. The other people are going to be even quicker. Like it's just going to be like snaps, you know, but I feel like this is the additional people to get to your person kind of a thing. So that's kind of funny. I mean, it's not comfortable, but it's kind of funny. So I feel like you guys are going to be dealing with that. You guys are going to be dealing with a bit of unwanted attention in August. Like people just can't help but be sexually attracted to you. You guys are magnetic, okay? People are not used to seeing light, and true unconditionally loving purity, like this purity that you are, okay? So they can't help it. And because you guys are doing the healing, you guys are doing the work, you guys are having your empowerment moment, it's like they extra can't help it, okay? And people in Leo season at the timing of when this video is going to be up, okay, are going to be in heat, all right? And Venus retrograde is going to be triggering their past hurts and their past connections and relationships. And they're going to see your light and your purity. And they're going to be like, ooh, this is somebody who can heal me, okay? And it's like, you are not my problem. That's what you guys are going to be thinking. But I feel like you guys are going to be like, I just wanted to step out of the house to take a walk in the park. Why can't you guys just leave me alone? And even if people aren't making physical advances towards you, it's like you guys are going to be feeling their energy directed at you, you know, like their sexual energy directed at you. Remember how I said it's like you guys aren't being conceited, you can actually tell? Yes, the High Priestess, the revealer being here, is actually confirming that, all right? So you guys are trying to just have a peaceful walk in the park, and these people are like eyeballing you, and you guys are like, I can feel you looking at me. I can feel your thoughts and desires. And all I have to say is, can you not? Like, can you just not? You know, because it's annoying for you guys, okay? It's annoying because you can feel it, you know? So it's not like your day goes unbothered. It's like you can feel somebody's energy pestering at you. And you're just like, can people stop? I just want to, you guys got so used to living quietly, right? And what I mean by that is kind of like living in hiding, okay? Now that you're out, you're excited to be out, but because you were kind of living quietly before, like years ago, it was a habit. So like, even though you're excited to go out and like have fun and whatever and be experiencing this newness, you guys are also not used to this kind of attention, and it's kind of annoying because you're just like, I have cultivated my inner peace for this. Like, can you leave me alone? It's just so funny. And like I said, especially with this Leo season, I just feel like people are going to be extra in heat. So they're going to be coming at you live from the park. Okay, then we've also got, yeah, with the Four of Wands, I feel like the Nine of Pentacles and the Sun and the Three of Cups. Yeah, it's like, I feel like you guys are going to be getting some kind of fun. Like I said, other things in your life are going good, you know? So I feel like you're going to be having fun with friends and, yeah, because this is your material world focus, and you guys are going to be choosing to go have some fun. Like, really living in that true Leo spirit, apart from like the romance and dating and whatever, but like the fun, letting the inner child come out. And I feel like people are going to be a big part of that. You guys have spent a lot of time kind of navigating on your own, so people are going to be a part of your fun. So I feel like you guys are going to go hang out with a couple of people, maybe do a couple of like new things, trying new things that you've always wanted to try, coming out of your well, you guys are already out of the shell, really, but just as an expression, coming out of your shelf, a little shelf, coming out of your shelf. That is so funny. Coming out of your shelf. What could that even, like, you guys were like a trophy hidden away for a long time collecting dust, and now you're finally being taken out of your shelf and shown around. Yeah, so I apologize for all the yawning, y'all. But yeah, the Four of Wands, the Nine of Pentacles, the Sun, it's like things are good in that regard. Like other things are kind of coming together. Like things are, you guys are continuing to bring this abundance in, okay? Things are coming into your life a little bit at a time. Like things are just kind of making their way to you. And you guys are still waiting on the money, okay? But know that it's coming. It's coming, okay? The money is coming. And don't dwell on it. Don't worry about it, okay? Because worrying about it is like the past. That's the old stuff. The money is coming, okay? This card also talks about Capricorn energy, though honestly I'm really feeling it here as like sexual heat, but like it does also talk about money. So I remember when it first fell out, I thought about money. So I do feel like money is going to be coming to you guys. You just have to give it a little patience and continue being in this lighthearted energy and enjoying and exploring, okay? You guys are always going to be taken care of in the moment of need, so don't worry about that. And money is coming. It's just everything else is kind of showing you that things are lining up in your life first, okay? So yes, and I feel like the thing that Divine wants you guys to focus on healing, it's so funny because it is all mindset about money, right? It is literally material needs get fulfilled in magical and unexpected ways, okay? You can be free, not seeing things clearly, and you have invested wisely. Have patience and wait for the harvest, okay? So I feel, and the Three of Coins being the first one here. So I do feel like part of the healing is... oh my goodness, I just can't stop. I feel like maybe you guys are going to be in between having a lot of, like, having energy and, like, wanting to sleep a lot, too. So it could be a big transitions, big things that you guys are healing, okay? So, yeah. So I do feel like part of the stuff that you guys are healing and Divine wants you to continue to focus on healing is this lack mentality. You guys have already started coming away from it because you guys have been trying to manifest abundance for quite some time now. But you guys are genuinely starting to walk away from it. So continue to have that faith because the money is coming. You guys don't got nothing to be worried about. It is coming. It is happening. Trust yourself. Trust the signs. Oh, trust the no, this sounds, that was going to come out so not appropriate. It's like Niggle. It's like from some oracle deck. I just don't remember which one. And honestly, I don't like that word. It doesn't feel like a good word, but it's making me think of an oracle deck. So But it's talking about like trusting this little voice within you, okay? Trusting that little voice. So trust yourself, you guys, okay? Because you guys are on the right path. You're doing the correct things. You guys are supposed to be enjoying. If you feel like you guys aren't being too productive, career-wise or something, for like a couple of weeks, don't worry about it. I feel like that's something you guys are supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be taking a little bit of a break, right? So it's kind of a God giving you a back seat, even though you're in the front seat. But they're kind of like, get in the back seat, let us drive you, okay? So you don't have to be putting in so much effort constantly. You guys deserve a little bit of a break. It's okay to take a break. And not the kind of break where you're just like, I'm taking a break, but I'm going to think about work. Like, no, that is not a break. Because your body may be taking a break, but your mind is thinking about work. So, and this could be also like spiritual growth too. Like, stop. You guys, not stop, but you guys don't have to think about what's next constantly, okay? Give yourself a moment. So yes, trust yourself. And I just heard good things come to those who wait. And you guys have been waiting quite a while. So just know that good things are coming, okay? I mean, look, even the fact that you guys have been looking for like romantic attentions for some time ago, and now it's finally coming in, okay? Other things are coming in. It's kind of like you need a train to get to work. The train, and you're running late. You get to the train station. The train appears the moment you get to your platform, right? Or you're running late for the bus, and you're just like, can the bus please come like 3 minutes late, please? And it's like the bus comes late, and it comes exactly when you get to the bus stop. Yeah, everything is about transportation here for whatever reason. But like, yeah, you know, because I guess everything was talking about moving forward, just kind of going through your other people to get to your person. It's all about destinations here. So notice where you guys are getting blessed, okay? If you asked for, like, say for example, you're just like, oh, it would be so nice if one of my clients did this, and then this happened. It happened that day. You know, it's like things are coming true. You're getting little hints here and there that your abundance is coming. So keep trusting that. You guys are okay. Okay, you don't have to go back into that old mindset. It doesn't serve you anymore. That's not who you guys are. Okay, so trust that you guys are being taken care of, because you guys keep getting signs that you are. Okay, and it's like continue manifesting too. You know, continue feeling and seeing as though you've got the thing that you're looking for, that you want, because it's coming to you. Like this is just a lucky time for you. You literally have auspiciousness, positivity, luck. This is just like a lucky period for you, okay? So the trial period is kind of ended. It's ended. So things are coming in. So continue to envision what it is that you want. Maybe write about it, journal about it, express it out loud to yourself and to God, the universe, and do the things that are good for your inner child. Okay, continue doing that. Have fun. Have a little bit of fun. Okay, let's get a final message here. Group 2. We've got 1, 12, the Sun, and Aries. Okay, look at that. Aries is about those new beginnings. It is literally the first sign of the zodiac, because we also have the 12, and you guys have the 12th house, and this is the 12th house. So you guys have the 12th house twice, okay? This really is talking about closing out karmic cycles. And I feel like those people that we talked about, and even the fact that like your abundance is kind of, it's coming at your financial abundance is coming in, but it's like, just give us just a smidgen more time, okay? It's all because of this karmic cycle. So it is coming to a close. It is coming to an end. Just give it a little, like teensy bit more time, okay? And it's the same reason why you guys are going through the 10 people to get to your 11th, okay? It's like what that universal DMV said. I'm sorry, we can't help it. You guys kind of signed up for it, right? Karma Shadow Secrets. Like, you guys signed up for it. It can't be, we can't rush this process. You're supposed to kind of, it's just kind of like, this was how it was meant to be, okay? I mean, we can rush the process, but we can't skip the steps, okay? So they're rushing the process for you guys. They just can't skip the steps. And it's coming to a close. It is coming to finito, okay? And then even, I think it's going to close before Leo season is up because we've got the sun here. And then we've got 1, which is the Magician. Okay, you guys are a master manifester. And Aries, which is that new beginning. It was funny, I put it on the sun, which is a baby. Okay, literally a new beginning. You guys are the chick walking around, coming out of the, like you already came out of your shell. You know, this is a new you, new clothes. Your body is kind of changing, new hair growth. Like, it's a new you guys. Okay. But yeah, group 2, that was your reading. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, I would appreciate if you gave this video a thumbs up. You guys actually got quite a nice reading, I will say. And also, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Have you guys experienced that person that I was mentioning before? Or have you started feeling like other people's attention has kind of started being more on you guys? Are you feeling annoyed by it? Are you enjoying it? Ugh, are you guys sleeping enough? Is it all of the above? I don't know. Okay. And also, if you guys are newer to the channel, or if you guys stop by every once in a while and you're not subscribed, you don't have to, but it would be very much appreciated if you guys did subscribe to the channel, as it does help the channel out. Also, if you guys are interested in a personal private reading, a custom crystal bracelet, or a custom affirmation song, you can reach out to me through the contacts page on my website or through my email, all in the description box below. I've also got an Instagram, which I kind of took a little bit of a pause on, and now I'm gonna be coming back. I'm coming back to Instagram, okay? So if you guys want to say hi to me on there, or just, you know, be around on that Instagram, because I will be posting new things, and most of the content is specifically like catered. It is basically for you guys, really. So yes, so if you guys wanted to say hi on there, my Instagram handle is NutAeum. It's going to be also in the description box below. But that is it for your reading, my friends. Okay, I hope you guys have a wonderful, blessed day. I'm sending you guys so much love. Where's the heart? There you go. So much light. And I hope you guys have a wonderful, well, I just said it, but I'll say it again, wonderful rest of your day. Okay? Bye, group 2. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Hey, group 3. Welcome to your reading. This is your group if you chose the turquoise spectrum. I'm going to set your cards to the side, you guys, and ring the singing bowl for you. Okie doke. So I will say I shuffled your cards last night, and today is a new day. Okay, so I shuffled it and just kind of left it. But I remember one of the things that I noticed while shuffling your cards was that I wanted to share with you guys the backs or the bottoms of the decks, of all of the decks that we use, because for you guys it was pretty incredible. I remember whenever the bottom of a deck would be revealed, I would be like, oh my goodness, you know, like literally the whole time. So I was very much impressed. I feel like we've got some interesting stuff that's going to come through for you guys. But first, let me share the bottoms of the decks before we even get into your cards. Okay, on the bottom of the deck we have 51, the sound of the universe. I also thought it was interesting that you guys chose the turquoise spectrum, which is the same color as like the throat chakra, and you guys chose the sound of the universe. So I thought that was very interesting. Or you didn't choose, sorry, but that was the bottom of the deck. Then we have the Ace of Pentacles. Okay. Twice, because you got the Ace of Ariel, that's the Ace of Pentacles again. You have the Ace of Wands. Oh my good, y'all. Underneath the Ace of Wands is the Ace of Cups. You guys, and speaking of the Ace of Cups, you also have the Ace of Cups on the bottom there. And then you have the 10 of Cups. And this is the High Priestess. And you also have the 10th house of career, public life, and reputation on the bottom here. Okay, But now let's get into your actual cards. First, we're going to be doing the energy check, okay? And I'll talk about those other cards that I just mentioned, probably in your reading. But we're going to do an energy check. So the top row is going to be what you guys are currently experiencing or what's going on in your life at the moment. And if it resonates, this reading is for you. If it doesn't, maybe try another group or maybe another reading, depending on if you can't find a group here. But yes, so the top is going to be what's currently going on, and the bottom is going to be what you have the opportunity to leave behind in the month of July. Okay, so let's get started. We have the Six of Swords, the Eight of Swords. This is so interesting. In some way, shape, or form, I feel like the Eight of Swords has come out for every reading so far. Like in this deck and another deck. Then we have the Nine of Pentacles, the Chariot, the Three of Pentacles. Just move these up a little. The Eight of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, and the Two of Pentacles. Wow, that's a lot of pentacles. Okay, I'm gonna set the rest to the side for now. So give me one moment, you guys, to see what I'm picking up here. Okay. It's funny because I feel like maybe you guys have chosen another group as well. Okay, so maybe you guys are one of the people that have more than one group here. But I do feel like this is kind of similar topics to one of the previous groups. Since I filmed it yesterday, I don't remember which of the first two groups, but it's one of them. Okay, and I do feel like you guys are... You guys are letting go of old patterns, okay? And you know what? I kind of have noticed just in general as a collective, a lot of people are doing this. So yes, I do feel like you guys are letting go of old patterns and you're working on creating more abundance for yourself. It's like there's a lot of focus on the material world, kind of getting to work, doing the things that you wanted to do, or like these side projects, or if you guys have your own business, or you were thinking about starting your own business, or maybe a YouTube channel, or some kind of social media platform, or like something where you can create, you know, it's kind of your own thing. I'm seeing like you guys aligning with that and putting emphasis on there. I feel like you guys are healing emotionally. Like it almost feels like there is a bit of, like, that's why I'm saying you're releasing old patterns, you know? So I don't know whether you're doing it consciously or not, but it feels like you guys are healing emotionally. So like things are coming up, like maybe you guys feel fine, but for whatever reason, there's like this shadow of a, or like an echo of a sadness, and it's things coming up from the past. Okay, so whether or not they make themselves known, it's like you guys could be like feeling fine, but you're tired all the time. Like you don't feel sad, but maybe somebody who would interpret your current actions and to a certain extent may think like, are you okay? Are you depressed? And you're like, no, I'm fine, you know? So I feel like there's a little bit of that. I also feel like and that's why it's like, you see how there's so much gray here, and then here it's yellow. So it went from gray to vibrant color, joyful color. Okay. So that's why I'm saying it feels like it is this weird, it's an in-between stage. It's a transition when you're letting go of things that no longer serve. Because even with this Six of Swords, they're moving, right? They're moving into calmer waters. It's healing. So I feel like I said that weird, healing. But yeah, so it's uncharted territory. It is revisiting. It's like things coming out from the past, and it's like they don't affect you anymore. And you know how some people may say, oh, like if there is a frustration or whatever, or if you're frustrated with the situation, like get angry, express it like on your own, you know, punch a pillow, curse it out, like whatever it is, just to let it out. I feel like that's not it for you guys, okay? I think because you guys are transitioning into a different way of being, it's like those kinds of things are not going to work for you. So it's not about, like, if for example you're crying or you're sad, don't start thinking about other things in your life that had made you sad just so you can let it all out at once, because that's only going to perpetuate the sadness for you guys. It's like they're asking you not to focus on it, you know? And it's not normally good to distract yourself from the things that you're feeling, but because these are things that are coming up from the past that no longer really apply or no longer serve you, it's like they just got to come out. I feel like your guides are saying, like, don't think about it too much. Don't dwell on it, okay? So if you just start crying instead of focusing on sad things, just let it out. Just cry. Don't try to give it a meaning. Don't try to attach it to something. Don't try to add anything else into that crying session so that you can let it go. Just cry, you know? Because if you do try to add things, you'll see it's like it doesn't even feel right. It doesn't feel genuine, okay? So it feels forced. So, and it's because it is forced, right? So I would recommend not dwelling too much. But yeah, so that's kind of what it feels like you guys are currently experiencing. It's more of this transition out of an old way of being. And I feel like you guys could be in a very emotionally vulnerable state, okay? So maybe you may be feeling a little extra sensitive or fragile, but at the same time, it's like you feel good or okay. It's confusing, but I think it's confusing because, again, you guys are shifting, you know, consciousness and a way of being. You are shifting. So I wouldn't worry too much about it, okay? Just kind of go with the flow. Just go with the flow. And I think that's what you guys are already kind of doing on your own too, to be honest with you. And I feel like some of the things that you guys are healing have to do with expression, okay? Expressing your feelings for somebody, expressing how you feel in general, right? If something doesn't feel right or whatever, maybe you had repressed it in the past to kind of not hurt other people's feelings or because you wanted to avoid conflict, well, now it's time to express it. If you feel like, just as an example, right? If somebody keeps asking you, how's work? And it's like you guys are starting your own business. And them constantly asking you because they have no other idea of how to, like, talk to you or communicate with you, instead of, you know, them asking you, like, how's work, which kind of triggers you, like, this is just an example, but it would be like triggering to you, right? Because you're like, I don't want to keep giving you a progress report. I feel like I have to live, because maybe this person, you felt like you had to live up to a standard for them or whatever, to be accepted by them for whatever reason. So them asking you for this constant progress report, even though it's not really, it's like they just don't know how to communicate apart from that, you know, would be triggering for you. So in those cases, you would just kind of bite it down and just kind of give them the progress report, but get annoyed, right? But here, now it's about the communication. It's funny you guys chose the turquoise spectrum, right? Because this is literally, like I said, the throat chakra. So I feel like now you guys are getting to the point where you would say to this person, like, hey, I just want to let you know, like, we don't have to keep doing these progress reports every single time that we talk, you know? Maybe if there's something new or something big or exciting, I'll let you know, okay? Like, you don't have to keep asking me, right? Because that puts pressure on you guys. So, like, you don't have to keep asking me. If it's something big or important, I'm going to let you know. But what you can ask me is, like, do you have any funny stories from work, or funny stories about people who you've interacted with, or, you know, like, have you gotten into any shenanigans with some of your friends or coworkers or whatever, you know, some kind of other communication, something that's less pressure and that's just kind of like, how are you? You know, because I feel like whoever this could be, they don't know how to communicate. They just don't know how to ask the right thing of you. It's not in their vocabulary because it wasn't really something that happened for them. So yeah. Give me 1 sec, you guys. Give me 1 sec. I have to check on something. Sorry. I'm coming. One second. Ay, bye-bye. Plus. Okay. There you go. All right, I'm so sorry about that, you guys. It was a little bit of an emergency situation. Something was about to not go so well, but it's okay. It has been resolved. All right. But yes, that's the energy check. That's kind of what is coming through here. Like, you guys are coming into this transition of expression and communication. And maybe you guys have never expressed, like, if you had a crush, you never told them how you felt before, or you didn't take that initiative. Now it's like you guys are taking the initiative, you know? You're not waiting for somebody to give you all of the clues and whatever. You're just kind of like, this is what feels good to me, so I'm going to do it. And again, it feels like it's in alignment with your sense of expression. Okay. Now, let's talk about what you guys have the opportunity to leave behind in the month of July. For you guys, it's interesting because this kind of happened for group 2, where it wasn't so much like necessarily the emphasis of what you're leaving behind. It's kind of like a combination of some nice things or whatever. So I think it's interesting. For a couple of you guys, I feel like it could be a person. Okay. So remember how we talked about like stuff from the past? So it could be somebody that maybe you guys were communicating with that you thought was the one, but isn't. Whether it was recently or somebody from a long ago past that like you just kind of carried it with you or you never fully moved on. But it feels like you guys have the opportunity to really leave that behind, right? Like, that's why I was saying, it's like you guys are transitioning. So things from the past are coming out of you, but it's not something for you to try to control or add to in a way that your logical mind may think kind of helps, you know? Just kind of, it's kind of like let go and let God, and divine will make sure that whatever needs to come out will come out, okay? It also feels like you guys are going to start seeing the fruits of your labor, okay? Because it feels like maybe you guys have been trying to make something happen for quite some time, but it was just taking a moment, okay? It's like you guys have been putting in the work for like 3 years or whatever, you know, and finally you are starting to get into a place where you get the results. So it's like effort that requires a ton of patience is something you guys are going to get to leave behind in the month of July, okay? Let me see what else I'm getting here. Wow, sorry guys. It just got so warm in here for some reason. Like, I am sweating, okay? It's that kind of warm where it feels like humid. And you know, like when parts of your body sweat that you're just like, why, what are you doing sweating? That's kind of how it feels like. Like my arms, I mean, you can't really see it, thank goodness, but it feels moist, you know? So I feel like you guys are going through a huge transition. It really is a huge transition. And you guys are going to be leaving behind a lot of toxins. And I feel like you guys, remember how I said it's kind of like I don't remember what I said, but I said something about like an upgrade or like an ascension or like the next phase. Basically, I feel like that's kind of what's happening, right? With this transition, it actually is happening for you in general as kind of an ascension. It's like you're leaving behind, like you're going into the next reality, right? So you're going from 3D to 4D or 5D or whatever. So yeah, I feel like that kind of consciousness, right? Like a 4D consciousness, 5D consciousness. But yeah, so all of the excess heat, I feel like because of all of the stuff that you guys are going through, and it's kind of like God has a very strong hand in your life, I feel as though you guys are getting a lot of energetic upgrades right now too. So maybe you guys could be thinking about like ascension symptoms and stuff like that. Or maybe you're starting to, as part of your upgrades, feel heat because I feel like something is being activated in you. Okay, so just know like that's part of it too. Okay. I also feel like something that you guys are leaving behind in the month of July is putting in effort and work unnoticed or unrecognized, not getting recognized for the efforts or work that you put in. Okay, so I feel like you guys are coming into a place where you're going to start getting a lot more acknowledgement for the things that you do, okay? And it's just because, like, before you guys were playing small and being quiet, right? Because you guys wouldn't speak up before. So you would just do things in the corner to yourself, to the side. But now, since you guys have started speaking up a little bit more and you guys have started ascending and growing and expanding, right? It's like people are going to be seeing you more. They can't ignore it. So I feel like that's kind of something that Like they'll see all of the efforts that you're putting in. Okay? Here, let me actually put these like so. Yeah, like we were saying it's like an ascension, and you guys got so many aces. The Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands, the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles twice, the Ace of Cups twice, and then the Ace of Wands. Aces are new beginnings, okay? Pentacles is like materially. Wands is the passion. We were talking about possibly like the efforts that you guys have been giving into passion project or something that you were thinking you would like to do. And then Ace of Cups coming up twice. That is also your emotions. It's a new emotional beginning. It's letting go of the old and welcoming in the new. It's an expansion, you guys. And the cards have confirmed that. You even have the sound of the universe. That's talking about like an expansion mind. It's like you guys have expanded your mindset or something along those lines. It really is. You guys should be incredibly proud of yourselves. You guys are doing really good. Okay, next we're going to be looking at your material world focus for the month of August and what Divine would like you to focus on healing for the month of August. Okay, and additional messages. So we've got the Six of Swords. Oh, that's funny. You guys have the Six of Swords again. Wow. The Wheel of Fortune. Y'all, oh my goodness, the Ace of Cups. You have the Ace of Cups coming through 3 times now. The Queen of Wands. It's funny, it goes with the colors of the Ace of Cups in this deck. We have the Three of Swords. Yep, okay, makes sense. Temperance. Yeah, sorry guys, I just felt kind of like a heaviness of breath, so I feel like you guys are going to be releasing a lot of grief. Okay, you're clearing things from your heart. You're clearing things from your heart. And we have the Knight of Cups. We also have the World. The Proclaimer, which is the Hierophant. Judgment. Oh, you guys also got the Past. All major arcana so far here, and like a special card. Then we have the Six of Ariel, which is the Six of Pentacles, and it says material needs get fulfilled in magical and unexpected ways. Acts of kindness, giving or receiving with a grateful heart. Okay, there's the heart again. Then we have Queen of Gabriel, which is actually the Queen of Wands again. So you guys are getting a lot of doubles. You can do anything right now. Go after what you want. The ability to attract helpful people. Passionate, charming, brilliant, independent. Okay, you guys, y'all, what the heck? You have the Six of Michael. This is the Six of Swords again. You guys got it 3 times. You guys are really getting a lot of repeating cards. And I feel like that is another indicator that Divine has a very heavy hand in your life right now. Okay, like God is really coming in and working with you right now. Because these are key things that have got to kind of happen for you guys now. That's why there's so many of the same card. It's the light at the end of the tunnel. Breathe a sigh of relief and make new plans, relocation or travel. Okay. Then we have, wow. So the bottom of the deck was the Sound of the Universe. You guys have 49, the Infinite. Okay. This is incredible stuff. And then you also have New Moon, right? All of the new stuff. We had all of those aces and then the new moon. This is all new beginnings. Creation, intention, and potential. We have Leo with courageous, regal, and loyal. We're currently entering Leo season. It should be Leo season, I believe, when the time this reading comes up or goes up. So yes. So I feel like this is talking about your new beginning is coming now. It is here now. Okay. And then we've got the South Node with past lives, natural gifts, karmic challenges. So the South Node also represents the past in general. Okay. And you guys have past here. So this is kind of incredible because we were talking about moving on, moving forward, right? And releasing the past. So let's get into the portion of your reading first. Let's talk about the material world focus. So actually, I don't know why I'm saying that because this card has come up in every section, right? So I feel like you guys are still in the process of moving on. I think with the Ace of Cups here, you guys are taking this kind of slightly emotional sensitivity and roller coasteriness into August, and that's okay, because you can't rush your healing, right? That is also a song by Trevor Hall for those of you guys who would like to, you know, hear a song about it. So it is a song. It's really nice. It's called You Can't Rush Your Healing. And one of the lines in the song is, in the chorus, he goes, "You can't rush your healing. Darkness has its teachings. Light or love is never leaving," or something like that. Yeah. But basically he's saying darkness has its teachings, right? So I feel you guys have gotten to a point in your life where you've kind of accepted that it's just going to take some time. And I'm proud of you guys, because it's true. It is going to take some time. It's going to take some time for you guys to release it. This emotional vulnerability is kind of here for a little bit while you guys are doing this healing, while you're letting go of the past, while you're letting go of the idea that you could possibly be a disappointment to somebody by choosing you or speaking up, you know? And it's not even like somebody currently, like this could just be somebody from the past that, again, it's kind of like you're healing that trauma. Yeah, like I'm hearing that line again, darkness has its teachings. And I think he says light is never leaving, or love is never leaving, something like that. But I feel like you guys are kind of going through a lesson right now, and there's no way around it, okay? It's a karmic lesson. You guys are coming to a close with a cycle, and you're doing inner child work. And honestly, Leo season is the perfect time to be doing inner child healing. I think a lot of people are going to be doing that, because Leo not only represents like romance and whatnot and passion, but it also, and like, you know, self-esteem. Is self-esteem the right thing? It's kind of like courage, like being in the limelight, but it also represents play and fun and the inner child. Okay, so I feel like this is the perfect time for you guys to be doing that. And with the Queen of Wands coming through twice, again, it just seems like you guys are really working on your abundance. You guys are really working on, not your abundance. Sorry, that came out without me thinking. What I meant to say, though I guess it could be true, what I meant to say was like your passion projects, whatever these passion projects. So if some of you guys were thinking about starting a business, maybe you wanted to sell, I was going to say rubber bands. I don't know. But then I realized I actually know somebody who sells hair. But okay, maybe you wanted to sell those like rubber bracelet things, right? You know, that they give in concerts and special events, but like specialty ones or whatever. And somebody was like, that's kind of a stupid idea. Why would anybody buy that? You know, like, why would you even blah, 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 blah. But you guys have a passion for it, and you love those kinds of bracelets, and they mean so much to you because they bring forth beautiful memories of whenever you would go to concerts and like hang out with friends and go to specific places, and you only have good memories associated with those things. And you have cute designs and ideas for it. Well, before you would have let somebody talk you guys out of it. Now it's like, this is the time for you guys to start putting that into play. It doesn't matter how silly it is or how impractical it may seem. I feel like you guys are going to figure out the practical way of getting it done. So I think you guys have been dreaming it up that's why I mentioned like the 3 years before. It's like you guys have been planning or dreaming it up. So now it's time for you guys to kind of put it into action. You guys are getting very, very close into putting it into action, actually. I don't think it's 100% time. I think it's like you guys are kind of starting by like reaching out to like manufacturers to get quotes on how much it would cost to produce a certain number, like reaching out to companies to figure out if you can use recycled rubber. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's kind of like doing like before it was just a conception. Yeah, I think that's the word. A concept. It was just a concept. That's it. Before it was just a concept. Now it's like you guys are actually kind of formulating this concept into reality. So yes, I'm seeing you guys kind of taking action in regards to this closer to the middle of August, okay? Which is a good thing. It's not you guys actually ordering the pieces, it's just you getting the information, which is also good because there are going to be some planets in retrograde, I believe. soon up until like, I know Venus is in retrograde until September 3rd. So it's not exactly considered the most ideal time to launch things. But it could be a good time to start planning it. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna plug a friend. So I have a friend who she does a bunch of like readings and stuff like that, but she also does astrology, and they've got she's got an astrology podcast with another woman that she works with, and it's called Sabor Astrology, I think. And what I like about it is that they give you short format videos of the updates of what's going on astrologically, like what's going into retrograde, what planets are aspecting what. It's like usually no longer than 15 minutes. And they touch on so many different things. So, and like they break it up into categories. So there'll be like Venus. We're talking about Venus now for like 5 minutes. Then we're going to talk about, you know, Saturn and Mars and whatever is happening with them. So I like that because it's like simplified, and it's a nice little update for people who don't like to keep up with reading the astrological stuff. So if you guys want, actually I'll just do it. I'll link the podcast. It's on YouTube in the description box below for those of you guys who are interested in keeping up with the astrological stuff. Okay. But yeah, so I feel like astrology is going to be a friend to you. I think that's why I brought up this podcast. It's kind of like, it's not time yet, but you guys are so close. It's so close. Okay. It's just, you need to take the first couple. I think that's why the Six of Swords came up here too. It's like, you need to take the first couple of weeks of August still, like in this cocoony, it's not even a full cocoon stage, but kind of this healing phase. Okay. And the fact that you have the Three of Swords, remember we were mentioning it's like heartache from the past, right? Stuff from the past, exactly. Coming out. It's just coming out now for healing with this Temperance card. And you guys are coming to a place where you're opening your heart. Okay. And it's going to be it's so beautiful because Leo also rules the heart, right? So you guys are actually pretty much doing really good and staying in alignment with the world, with astrology, with the planetary transitions. You guys are right on track. You're not running late. You're not running behind. You're right on time. Okay. You guys are in alignment. Okay. And then what divine would like you guys to focus on healing? Give me one sec, y'all. My friends, one moment. Darkness has its teachings. Okay. So honestly, I feel like for you guys in regards to healing, it's something you guys are already currently doing, which is surrender. So, or you guys are trying to continue to practice this. You guys are trying to get there, okay? So for some of you guys, you've already sort of started. For some of you guys, there's a need for you to surrender a little more, okay? The Proclaimer is the Hierophant and Judgment. These, whenever I see the Hierophant and Judgment come out together, that for me is the ultimate divine intervention, because the Hierophant is like a priest or a pope or whatever. But for me, it's like a speaker of God, like God's message, okay? Because it takes place in a church, at least how I interpret it. So it's like divine, okay? And then Judgment is literally, you get an Archangel Gabriel blowing its horn, you know? So it's kind of like a wake-up call, but it's also like divine intervention. Remember I mentioned like the hand of God is very present in your life right now. So I feel like God is saying, continue to surrender. Like, remember how we were mentioning, don't try to force the emotions or whatever. Don't try to, it's not about it being on your time. It's about it being on the time that your emotional body feels is good for it to express. Okay, so I feel like you guys are coming into that. So there is an aspect of, they're asking you, like, if you can, just keep surrendering. If any kind of obstacle comes up, don't tense up like a rock. Don't get stiff. Kind of surrender even more. It's like if you're doing yoga, right? They say, like, if you feel something is stiff or too hard of a pose to hold or something, like hold it for a second and breathe into that spot. And with the exhale, let your body go a little deeper into the bend or the pose or the stretch, okay? So it's kind of like that. Don't try to, if you feel yourself tensing up, just take a breath and kind of let it go. Release. Keep bringing yourself to that state of kind of surrender, relaxation. Give me one sec. But yeah, past stuff is definitely healing for you guys, okay? So that's why, again, they're saying, like, don't try to control it. Just kind of let it go and let it be. It's coming out the way it's got to naturally. It's kind of happening for you guys. With the Six of Ariel, again, this is kind of making me think of trust and faith, because it's kind of like God saying, I've got your back. I've got your back. Go for the thing that you want, okay? Get ready to start running. Get ready to start running towards the thing that you want. And don't be afraid. I know you've been in practice for a long time, but being in practice doesn't mean that, like, eventually you have to come out of practice to perform, like actually performing. Okay, so you guys are getting to that place where you're about to go and perform. And I know all you're used to is practice, but I've got your back. Anytime you get tense, anytime it gets a little, like, I don't know, like, surrender into it, relax, okay? And keep going, like, add to this idea. It's like, I feel like you guys are meant to have your own business or some kind of your own project or creative endeavor, because this really feels like you guys are supposed to put something out into the world. Okay, you're supposed to have some kind of creative baby. Whether it's a business, whether you guys want to start painting and you want to sell your paintings, whether you've always loved music and you want to start doing music and, you know, putting it out there. But like actually putting it out there, not like, oh, like I put it out, but I never advertise, but like putting it on Spotify, putting it on all of the stuff, right? It's kind of like things where this thing, you've been practicing on getting it right, or planning on how it would be to get it right. Now it's time to actually go and do it, because you already know the steps you've got to take, and it's just going to come to you naturally. And if you feel tense or confused, all you have to do is take that breath and like surrender, and the steps are going to keep revealing themselves to you, okay? And just know that as you guys work on this, it doesn't mean you're going to be perfectly healed or all of these issues are going to be completely gone. It just means that you guys have released enough for you guys to actually start and doing the things that are good for you, that are kind to you, that would make your inner child happy by pursuing the things that you want, okay? You guys have literally infinite potential. You have infinite potential. So you're letting go of those old beliefs, those old patterns, those things that kept you guys back before. And they're saying to you, like, you're still going to keep healing. And part of your healing journey, right? Because honestly, healing is a life's work. But part of your healing journey is going for it, okay? It's not like I need to be fully healed before I can put myself out into public. It's like, no, part of the healing is actually you guys putting yourself out into the public and then seeing what else comes from that needs to be released. That's you guys showing yourself, I'm moving forward, I'm moving on. I can let go of the past, okay? All right, let me get the final messages for you guys. Maybe you guys should check out that song because it keeps playing in my head. You Can't Rush Your Healing by Trevor Hall. We've got Aries, the number 1. Wow, this is so funny because I feel like all of these on some level apart from the moon came out in one of the previous 2 groups. So you've got Aries and you have the 10th house on the bottom here, remember? We had it here, okay? Yeah. So with Aries and the 1st house, this is literally talking about charting new territory, new beginnings, okay? Starting a new cycle. We already talked about closing out an old cycle. Now it's about starting a new one. New, okay? Then with the 10th house, again, there's so much emphasis on career and the moon. So this is like a heart's calling, a heart's desire, a passion project. We already talked about with all these Queen of Wands energies being here. This is a passion project. So go for it. Okay, give yourself a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, and then go for it. Okay, like you guys are ready. You're ready to start implementing, Yeah, you're just ready to start implementing. And when I say go for it, I'm not saying like advertise it everywhere, do everything, launch your product. Like, no, it's just like start making the phone calls that need to be made, start inquiring. If you inquired 3 years ago, well, let me tell you, inflation, okay? Inquire again. Let them know, like, hey, I'm going to be interested in actually purchasing something. Maybe before you told them at some point in the future, now you can tell them, I'm thinking within the next couple of months, I'm going to be making a purchase. It's going to be around this many quantity or whatever. So, like, what is that going to look like? What is the cost of that? And if we choose to continue and if things go well, is there going to be some kind of a deal if I've got some kind of loyalty with you? You know, like little things like that, like the technical aspects of the business. The fundamentals you guys can start securing until it's time to actually launch after like Venus retrograde and whatever. That's why I was saying you can check my friend's podcast, because every week she posts with her partner there, like in the podcast, the kind of astrological updates. Okay, so if you guys like they tell you like this would be a good time to do this and this will be a good time to do that. And she also has a website, I think, where she put it, not I think, I know, where she's got really great content about utilizing like the stages of the moon and whatever. And I would personally say, like, it's not just because she's my friend. I don't always work with friends because I personally feel like sometimes it can get a little muddled, and sometimes the people that are closest to your life, they know things a little too personally, so sometimes it doesn't apply, or I don't know, it gets a little kind of weird. But I feel like she, for her, like her stuff kind of really resonated with me personally. So maybe it could resonate with you guys. So I usually check for my moon sign, my sun sign, and my rising sign. Okay. And that would be, she posts like stuff for the new moon, the full moon. And I think she could be posting something else on her website. So yeah, I'll just put down, I don't know if she includes the links in her thing, but maybe I'll post something. Okay, I'm gonna make a note of that, a note of all the things I mentioned really quickly for you guys, because I think this could be good for some of you to keep up with the astrology, to kind of get the timing. It's like royal people use astrology to create treaties and all of this stuff, and they have for many years. And in some countries where they, like in India, they use astrology to arrange marriages, to see the most auspicious day to get married and all of this stuff. It doesn't completely rule our lives in a way that is kind of like detrimental to us if we don't follow it, but it could be beneficial for you guys. And I think for you guys in particular, it could be beneficial. So let me just make a note of the things I'll put in the description for you guys next to your group number. And I'll only put a post of hers from her website if I can find it, okay? But the podcast I'll include, okay? But yeah, that was your reading, group 3. Nice, quick, and simple. At least I think it was nice, quick, and simple. I don't know how long I've been talking for. But yeah, that was it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Okay, I would appreciate if you guys did enjoy, if you would give this video a thumbs up. And also, for those of you guys who found that it like resonated, I would love to hear from you guys in the comments. What is this project that you guys are thinking about? Or if you want to keep it a little tight-lipped, that's okay too. But, you know, has this been something that kind of motivated you to do so? Or did it give you some clarity in regards to what you could have been experiencing emotionally? Or like you kind of weren't entirely sure what was going on, so maybe that helped. But yeah, also, if you guys are up for it only, of course, I would appreciate if you showed the channel a little bit of support by subscribing. I would be very grateful for that. There are over 1,000 of you guys now, which is so incredible. I'm like in awe. I'm very grateful. Thank you guys for being here. And yeah, for those of you guys who are interested in a personal private reading, a custom crystal bracelet, or a custom affirmation song, you guys can reach out to me either through the description box in my well, I can speak through my email or the contacts page on my website, which will all be listed in the description box below. And if you guys want to come say hi to me on Instagram, my handle is NutAeum, which is also going to be in the description box below. But yeah, that was it for your reading, group 3. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I'm sending you guys so much love, so much light. And yeah, I love you guys. I'll see you guys next time, okay? I'll see you in the next reading. Bye, group 3. Hey, group 4. This is your group if you chose the gold spectrum. Okay, I'm gonna set your card to the side, you guys. We'll ring the singing bowl for you. And I just finished shuffling your cards. So before we begin, I'm going to give a tiny breakdown for those of you guys who may have missed it in the intro. The top is going to be what you guys are currently experiencing or going through, and that is going to be your energy check to see if this is actually your group or not. Okay, you guys can have more than one group too. And then if it isn't your group or you can't find a group for yourself, in this reading, I do this kind of reading once a month. I've also got stuff from previous months, so maybe even though they're specific months, maybe like I have people who sometimes watch something from 2 months ago and it applies for them, you know, like they'll watch something from May and it's like this is exactly what they needed to hear. So you can check that out too if you feel called to, okay? But yeah, so first it's going to be our energy check, what you're currently experiencing or going through, like a little rough version of it, and then we're going to look at what you have the opportunity to leave behind in the month of July. Something that I picked up with you guys was that you guys have kind of, whatever is happening in July, like you guys could have started or tried or kind of experienced something new or some kind of a new beginning in July, and it feels like this same kind of thing is kind of bleeding into August, to be honest with you. Okay, so let's take a look at what we've got. We've got the Page of Swords, the Ace of Pentacles, the Three of Swords. Okay, we have Death, the Two of Swords, High Priestess. Did I give you guys a good look at that card? Look at it! Okay. We have the Ten of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. Also, you guys, don't be scared by the cards that you see, okay? It is my job to do the reading, okay? So don't be like, oh my goodness, the Three of Swords, Death, the Two of Swords. It's like, let me do what I do, guys. I got you, okay? And we also have the Ace of Swords. You guys have a lot of swords, a lot of mental energy. Not, not mental like, you know, cuckoo, mental kind of like, mind, the analytical mind, the rational mind, because even the High Priestess kind of gives off this, and it's like this an energy of somebody who is in their mind, who has like a high conscious or level of awareness, right? So give me a moment to see what I'm picking up here. Dun, dun. Yeah, okay. A lot of people are going through mending some kind of a grief or broken heart or letting go of some kind of sorrow. And you know, it makes sense because we're going into Leo season, which rules the heart. And Venus is in retrograde at the time of this video coming out. So this is the time when people are looking at their past connections in love, whether it's romantic or not. Usually it's Venus will give more so romantic and like crushes and stuff, but it can be any kind of relationships, you know, parent relationships, friendships, co-workers. So it kind of feels like it is coming across in all of the readings that there's some kind of emphasis on healing and letting go of grief or letting go of the past and letting go of hurt from before. You guys are really good at transmuting things. I think sometimes maybe you don't it's like with this gold, it's making me think of an alchemist, okay? So it's like you guys are coming from a place that may seem very difficult and very hard, but somehow you guys can make the best of it. You know, it feels like you guys are good at alchemizing. You're good at transmuting things. You can create a positive out of any negative situation, and I think it comes from the fact that you guys have had to endure so much in your life that in order to kind of stay sane, right? Because we made that joke about like mental energy, but in order to stay sane, you guys had to create coping mechanisms, you know, and those coping mechanisms would be things that like are actually really good for you in this point in your life. And what I mean by that is not like turning to food or whatever, but kind of like if something is difficult or hard, you turn it into a game to make it fun so that you can kind of keep moving through it, you know? So it's like you guys are not running away. You're just trying to deal with whatever you've got to deal with. Like the coping mechanisms are for that, you know? It's kind of like finding a way to, like, you know, you have to go through it. So you're finding a way to make it fun or interesting for you so that you're not like just suffering, okay? So you guys are really good at that. I feel like it comes from a lot of practice. This is meant to be an energy check. So give me a sec to see what else I'm getting here. Okay, I think because of the things that you guys have endured, it kind of took a blow to your abundance mindset. Okay, so Leo rules the heart, but it also really gives off solar plexus energy because it's the sun, and the solar plexus is associated with the sun, okay? And you guys even have gold spectrum, right? So solar plexus is talking about abundance. So you guys are good at alchemizing and doing all of this stuff, but I feel like part of the thing that you guys are currently working on letting go of is the lack mentality, because like you guys may be finding like 30-40 bucks here and there, but it's like you guys are actually, like, once you guys overcome this, meant to be finding like $1,000 to $3,000 here and there, you know? It's kind of like that. So it feels like something that you guys are going to be currently venturing into is overcoming this lack mentality, or like that more is not accessible or available to you, right? And this is the same reason why you guys have those really good coping mechanisms. It's that same kind of trauma or experiences that have led you to kind of feel subconsciously this lack, okay? It feels like a self-worth thing. So feeling like you guys are currently kind of maybe experiencing those kind of triggers, or like God is reminding you guys about those triggers. Maybe you guys put them to rest or just kind of function for some time, and now those things are starting to come up where your ego is being triggered, right? Or like that self-worth is being triggered again, because it's just it's not that people are trying to hurt you. It's not like the universe wants you guys to feel hurt. It's more so about God trying to point to you where the wound is for you guys to fix it, right? Not fix it, but to heal it, to give it love, to give it light, and to let it go. So that's kind of what it feels like. It feels like you guys are just kind of trying to go with the flow, but at the same time, it's like a couple of things are coming up and you're like, I don't get it. I'm being nice, or I'm minding my own business. Why is this person coming in and like getting all up in my grill? Or like, why are they, what is that expression? I don't even say that like ever, but you know, have you guys ever seen that MTV special? I know that a lot of you guys are from other countries, but there was this MTV special years ago, and there's this character, her name was Bonquiqui, and I think her line was like, welcome to Good Burger. No, is it not? It's not Good Burger. Good Burger was a whole nother thing, but she was like, well, I think it was good. I'm going to say Good Burger only because I don't remember what it was, but it was like, welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. May I take your order, or whatever, you know? And somebody was like, oh, I'll have an Oreo milkshake. And she was like, that's a complicated order. That is a complicated order. Security, you know, and it was like a whole, anywho, maybe you guys can look it up. It's literally just Bonquiqui. I'm sure if you try to spell it, and even if you spell it wrong, you know, YouTube will find it, and it's like a whole little skit. But yes, so it kind of feels like you guys might be like, I don't understand why these people keep trying to, like, I'm being nice, but this person is not giving me, like, you know, they're giving me attitude in return. You know, like maybe you're on public transportation and you're trying to tell somebody, hey, your backpack is open. But instead of saying thank you or closing their backpack, they look at you and give you the side eye, like, can you not talk to me? Like, leave me alone, you know? And you're like, I'm just trying to be nice to you. So it's like things that are kind of wounding or hurting your ego, or triggering that self-worth or insecurity, to kind of get your attention where you guys could use a little bit more healing or light and love, okay? Since you guys are so good at transmuting, it's like now it's time to alchemize this wound, so that you guys can get the abundance in your life that you deserve, and not just monetary, but kind of in general, okay? To get you guys out of a lack mindset. You guys can have options in love. You can have options in making money. You can have options in life. And options can be a good thing. They are a good thing, okay? And then what you guys have the opportunity to leave behind in the month of July. It's interesting because there's so much air energy that feels like it's coming through here. So it really is that mindset. It's kind of like, for lack of a better term in the moment, we're going to call it a victim mindset, okay? I don't understand. Why are they taking it out on me? Why are they being this way with me? I don't get it, you know? I feel like you guys kind of fell into a little bit of a pattern because you guys stuck around, for example, like a job that you guys are better than this job, you know? This is just kind of like a side. It's almost like you guys took on a job, like that example with Bon Kwikwi, right? She was working at a fast food place, though there's no shame in working at fast food place, okay? No shame at all. It just feels like you guys have bigger goals and dreams in your life, and you guys have settled for less. And it's part of that self-worth, self-esteem kind of lack mentality. So it feels like you guys were kind of going into this thinking it was going to be temporary, but then you got stuck there for like 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you know, some of you guys, 6 years it could be. I don't think that's the majority of you, but I feel like a couple of you guys, you know, maybe longer even. And it's like God is trying to let you guys know, you guys are getting too comfortable here. This is not where you're supposed to be staying. You're supposed to get out eventually. And so they're trying to bring up these insecurities to kind of trigger the self-worth, so that you can at some point see like, hey, you got to start looking for some kind of other place of work, or some other place of, like, maybe it's just connections in regards to like family or friends. Maybe it's friends from the past that are not really that good for you, okay? Or like friends that you know how like some people with their friends, they refer to each other as like the B word and like curse words, and they'll be like, oh my gosh, you're so stupid, blah, 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 right? But they're saying it endearingly. And some people even do it culturally, right? In some cultures, it's actually just the terms of endearment. Calling someone an idiot can be like calling it like a term of endearment, you know? So I feel like God is trying to get you guys to kind of snap out of it. The universe is like, hey, this is not you. And you shouldn't tolerate people talking to you that way, even if they're doing it in an endearing way. You guys are coming out of that. You guys are the alchemist, okay? You're supposed to come out of that place. You're not in that same place where your self-worth was questioned. So keeping people around, or maybe you can talk to your friends, you know, for those of you guys who it is like a friend or whatever, and you can let them know like, hey, you know what, I'm kind of trying this new thing where I'm trying to work on myself and whatever, and I'm trying to speak to myself more lovingly. I'd appreciate if like maybe you didn't call me like the B word. Even I know you're joking, and I know you mean no harm in it. You don't actually mean it, but I'm not going to be calling you that anymore, and I would appreciate if you don't call me that. And yeah, you know, so it's kind of like you guys are trying, it's like you guys have this opportunity to leave behind this kind of a, like this lack mentality, you know? It's kind of like, okay, please don't come from you guys. I'm just using this as an example because I have experienced a couple of people. Not all people are like this, but I've experienced a couple of people in this particular situation where maybe if they kind of grew up in a more impoverished neighborhood, okay, that has like more government funding or stuff like that, you can call, I don't know how the equivalents would be in any other country, but it could be like, because I know you guys are kind of from all over, but it'll be kind of like the hood, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Look, we can't always control our situation and whatever, and we're meant to be where we're meant to be and come out of where we're meant to come out of, or get the opportunity to do so, whatever. That's not the point of this. But basically, some people kind of grew up in that type of an area, and there's a certain mindset that the majority of the people in that area have. And it's a mindset that has been put onto them by the media and by the educational system and by a lot of other things within the government and whatever, that teaches them about lack and to kind of keep playing into that lack mindset, you know? And it's kind of like, this is good enough for them, you know? And it's not even their fault. They've been taught to think that, right? And they've been taught to be suspicious, right? Because they had to be careful. Like if it was a more dangerous area, you have to be careful of what time you walk around at night or what kind of information you share or, you know, any kind of weaknesses being shown. And so you have to be careful of all of those things. And it puts you in this fight or flight kind of a thing, right? So when people come out of that area, like say, for example, they leave that area, they've created some kind of a success, like they started getting money and they've left that place, but their mindset is still there, right? It's kind of like that hood mentality. They're still kind of trapped there. So that holds them back from real growth in life, because in the material world, they may be okay, but like they're still stuck. They're still trapped in that past, in that neighborhood that they tried so hard to get out of, right? In that environment that they tried so hard to get out of. That little kid is still stuck there. It's just physically they've moved somewhere else, okay? So I feel like I lost my point. I lost my point. But yeah, I kind of feel, okay, yes. With the whole having your friends call you a certain thing, like if that's the thing, you know, this is just all examples because this is a general reading. But yeah, so it kind of feels like that, you know, like you guys are moving on from that mindset. You guys grew up in this type of an environment or whatever, and so this is the thing that you guys are enduring. But now that you're working on self-love or growing, right? Because in those communities, unfortunately, because they've all kind of been taught to be stuck in this place, or like this is where our community lives or is, okay? Whenever they see somebody who is successful, but in a nice, clean way, not in like a hood way, because this is where they came from, right? So they took that with them and they created success. But when they see somebody successful in like a more white collar, kind of like a clean slate or whatever, they judge that, okay? Some people even like disown their people or whatever, and they'll be like, look, you're not one of us. Why are you trying to be like one of these blah blah blahs who have everything and yada yada yada, you know? So I'm trying to be very careful with my with my words, right? Okay, because I'm not trying to trigger anybody, and I'm definitely not trying to trigger YouTube. So but I hope you guys understand what I'm saying, okay? It's not that I'm saying that this is you guys. I'm saying that I'm giving the comparison of the idea of where your mindset has been trapped, okay? Because you guys have experienced trauma, okay? Those are the things that allowed you to become an alchemist. But it's like, that's what you guys are working on now. That's where God is trying to point your attention, your eyes. It's like, hey, this is the trauma. This is what you have the opportunity to start working. And that's why I said it's going to bleed into August. I feel like it's going to take up August too. But because changing the way that you think and talk about yourself and talk to yourself and allow people to talk about you and to you takes time. It's like building a new habit, you know? So yeah, I kind of feel like that's the dealio. So let's see what else we've got for you guys. So give me one moment. And guys, please let me know in the comments down below, like, I hope I didn't trigger you guys or anything, or that I didn't come across as mean. It was just the best example that I could use. And I know that not everybody is like that comes from those kind of areas. I know that 100%, okay? But I've encountered people who are not like that, who have actually moved on, who have healed, who are like where I grew up does not define who I am, not in this kind of negative way, okay? So I've seen people overcome that, and I've seen people who have created such a beautiful, big success for themselves, but their mind still stays in that place, and so they're not trusting, and they always feel like they've got to one-up somebody, you know, and it just feels like the material stuff is just for show. It's just flashy, okay? But they're still stuck in that place, okay? So I'm saying that as an example, but yes. Next, we're looking at the material world focus for the month of August and what Divine would like you to focus on healing, as well as any additional messages. So we've got Judgment. Yes. The Three of Pentacles. Interesting that we had work as an example because it kind of is coming true here. Yeah, it kind of feels like you guys are still in the process of building this new creative life for you guys, okay? And it's like with Judgment, this actually feels like, very rarely do I actually interpret judgment as the word itself, but it does feel like self-judgment, self-criticism, okay? And sometimes when we criticize ourselves, we put judgments and expectations on other people too, right? But it's actually because we have those judgments and expectations on ourselves. So it feels like this is something that you guys are going to be working on, is those self-judgments, that what I mentioned, right? Like changing that mentality. It feels like you guys are already kind of either have started that, or you've been made aware of it, or something along those lines. And I'm seeing you guys kind of changing that and communicating with the people in your life about this. And I feel like maybe you guys can get a friend who's on board and wants to kind of do this with you, and they're like, you know what, you're right, we should be talking better about ourselves, you know, we're not the S words and all of this stuff, like we're not skanks or whatever. The S word, by the way, was not it, you know what I mean? It was another kind of derogatory term. It's like, we're not these kinds of people. We're not actually these kinds of people, so let's stop talking about it. So it feels like you guys are getting some kind of support, and maybe even in that workplace that we were talking about, you guys are going to start inspiring a couple of people to think differently, okay? It's actually kind of cool. Then we have Justice. Oh, wow. The King of Wands. The King of Cups. And the King of Wands. So 2 kings facing opposite directions. Water and fire. Emotions and passion. Sensitivity and anger. Interesting. Curiosity. And then we have the Page of Wands. Wow, you guys, it's interesting because the majority, you've got 2 major arcana cards, 3 court cards. This is the only minor arcana card. Then we have the Four of Wands, which is cute because you actually have the Four of Wands on the bottom of the deck here, okay? And it's the Four of Gabriel, but it's the Four of Wands, and it says, time for a celebration, abundant rewards for hard work, release yourself from burdensome situations. Okay, also I wanted to point out, we've got the star underneath that, and when I first picked up the Rider-Waite deck, which is the first deck that you guys saw, this one, right? When I first picked it up and I started shuffling, I actually saw the star card peeking through a couple of times, and I remember I made a mental note of it. So we have it here again with Archangel Jophiel, a dream come true, believe in yourself, the end of a difficult situation. So the fact that the star card kind of presented itself is also talking about you guys being able to get exactly what you want in life, to be able to be happy, to have hopes, to have dreams. But it's like, this is just something you've got to alchemize within yourself first so that you don't get in your own way. Okay, so that you don't create obstacles subconsciously or consciously or whatever, okay? Then we've got the Two of Swords. Oh, that came out again. The Champion of Swords. This is the Knight of Swords. I don't know why Phantom of the Opera has been playing in my head during this reading. Not just this, I mean like this kind of reading in general. It came up for a couple of groups. So then we have the Nine of Ariel, which is the Nine of Pentacles, and it says, your dreams are fulfilled. Remember the star said something about dreams. Hard work leads to great success, a love for the beautiful things in life. Look at that. How cute is that? How cute is that? Then we have the Knight of Michael, which is the Knight of Swords. Strong, committed, intellectual, diligent, time to move quickly, choose logic over emotion, sudden changes. Okay. And then we've got 15 with decision. Archangel Jophiel, release yourself from that which holds you back. And yes, release yourself from that which holds you back. A need to detox unnecessary worry based on lack of self-confidence. Okay. Self-confidence is also a form of self-worth. And 15 is actually the Devil card in tarot, which talks about insecurities and all of that stuff too, okay? And then we have 14 with earth, nurture nature. And then we've got opposition, resistance, struggle, polarity. Waxing crescent moon, focused, conceptualized, strategy. And the 5th house, fun, hobbies, and creativity. This is also the house of Leo, which we are in Leo season. Okay. Give me one moment to see what I'm getting here. Justice is again about bringing the balance. Oh, balance. Yes. Water and fire, balance. Masculine and feminine, balance. Okay. Emotions and passions, right? Balance. Vulnerability and anger, and stuff like that, and self-protection. So I think this is very interesting. You guys are coming into a place where you're working on creating this balance. And again, it really strongly feels like the way that you guys are talking to yourself has got to change. Okay, I'm not trying to call anybody out. I didn't mean to say it like aggressively if it came across that way. It's just, this is something for you guys, okay? And I feel like this is something that would be good for you. I feel like you guys are already naturally have kind of started this already, to be completely honest with you. Give me one sec. Your girl needed to drink some water. But yes. So just be careful not to lecture people, okay? Just be careful not to lecture people as you guys are kind of coming into your own and you're doing this new stuff for you. It's kind of like when people go vegan, you know, and then they become like this massive advocate and they start kind of shaming people sometimes into it. And I say this as somebody who was vegan, okay? I was vegan. I was that person many years ago. Maybe not to the extent of some people, but I would be like, well, this, and this, you know, when I first started. And then I kind of realized as life has humbled and showed years later, you know, like everyone is entitled to the way that they eat. Not everybody is meant to eat the same way. Not everybody is meant to have the same kind of an approach. So it's the same thing here, right? It's kind of like, it may be something that starts going good for you guys and working out for you, and like you feel super passionate about it because it's kind of like a new beginning and you're kind of getting into this and it's exciting because you're starting to kind of feel some of the effects. Though I'll be honest with you, you guys are going to have a crash and a low, and that's normal. That's part of the process, okay? When I first started this journey, not with doing readings, but like this kind of self-healing and all of this stuff, I was warned ahead of time that there was going to be a crash. And I was like, what? No way. You know, and I went a long time. Most people experience a crash sooner on, but I kind of went like 6, 7, 8 months on this high. And then I got that crash, you know, and the crash is nothing bad. Okay. It is a part of life. And what it is God and the universe showing you by giving you like a head start what you could be feeling, an idea of how you could be bringing more things into your life and the positivity and all of this good stuff and rewards that you could be getting for treating yourself in a kind way. And then after you experience that a little, to get your palate wet, right? To get you the taste for it, then divine drops you back to where you guys actually are. And then they're saying, now work towards it, get there. Okay. So, and it's not going to look exactly like the high that you experienced when you guys first started out, like your little taste test, okay? It's actually going to look better than your taste test because it's going to be more stable. It's a completely different experience. But it's, again, like you had to get your palate wet. So don't try to, don't worry too much about the crash. Don't dwell on it. You know, it's a part of life. Healing is a life's work, okay? It's never going to end. So don't think about a checklist or like, oh, this will be done and then whatever. It's like, no, you know, it'll be overcome. Sure, it's not going to be holding you back anymore, okay? And it's going to be a lot less impactful in your life and almost completely 100% fully healed. But there may be times, even if it is 100% healed, that it kind of comes back many years later for a couple of days or whatever, you know? So don't dwell too much on that. Focus on this progress that you're making and try not to kind of, like I said, impose. Now that you feel passionate about this and you're going to start feeling good and all of this stuff. Don't try to convert people. You can give them an idea, you can give them an example by being, and if they ask you how you're feeling or whatever, and you tell them this, and this is why. But when it comes to like telling them like, you should be doing this too, everyone should be doing it, go ahead, do it, you know, like don't force people, because force is only going to push people further away from trying that thing, right? Who wants to do something that they're told? It's kind of like when you're in school and a teacher tells you, you've got to read this book, you know, and just because the teacher said you have to do it, just because it's an assignment, you lose all desire. But the book could have actually been an actually really cool, interesting book. And if your teacher would have never told you to read it for homework, you may have actually picked it up and enjoyed it on your own, right? So yeah, so it's a little bit of a warning for you guys, okay? It's cool that you guys are going to get excited about it. That's what I'm seeing in August, and it's a good thing. And share your newfound knowledge and wisdom, but don't push it onto people, okay? Don't try to convert. Converting people doesn't. Converting people is also part of the ego a little bit, you know? Everyone's got free will, and it should be their choice whether they choose to do something that's good for them or not, right? Because some people are not going to be ready to do something that's good for them. It's just you guys are ready now, okay? And then what Divine would like you to focus on? Healing. With the Four of Wands coming through twice, honestly, this is like positivity. This is joy. This is excitement. I feel like maybe before you guys would lose the spark or lose passion or something along those lines, you know, or you guys would get excited about something and then be like, well, who am I to actually have expected that this would work out, you know, if something doesn't go to plan or whatever. And it's like any other failure in the past was not a real failure. It's just you guys weren't ready for that success yet. You were not in that place. So work on this positivity, because good things are coming. Good things are going to be coming into your life, okay? And keep doing the work that you have already kind of committed on doing on yourself. Even if you were just thinking about doing it. It was a slight mental commitment. You guys have got this, okay? And then with the Knight of Swords, again, this is very much, there's so much talk, there's like so much emphasis on communication here, and the analytical mind, and being a little too like harsh with yourself, and like I was saying with others, it could be too, right? Because it's like if somebody has high standards for themselves, most of the time until they do some inner work, they're going to have high standards for everybody else, okay? So I feel like that's the kind of thing that you guys are also overcoming. I'm not saying you guys have high standards for everybody else, but I feel like there's a little bit of like this defensiveness or something along those lines, which again comes from your triggered past, you know? So yes, I do feel like there's a little bit of that that's being overcome. That and kind of imposing the things that you feel passionate about, or like, it's almost like they're saying like things are not black and white, right? It's kind of like with veganism, when I was talking about veganism, right? And I'm telling you, when I first became vegan, like what, 10 years ago? 10 years ago. Yeah, it was 10 years ago. When I first became like it was the first time I was doing veganism or whatever. It was 10 years ago, okay? And I was so adamant about it, and I would tell people like, no, but this, and this, and then I would mention the health benefits and the health aspects like any other new vegan, okay, that is doing it maybe for the animals or for their health or whatever, you know. Most people are going to do this, not just vegans, but most people who try something new are going to try to sell you on it because they're excited about it and because they've discovered it and they feel like this is kind of life-changing. But basically, the truth was, not everybody is meant for this kind of diet. Maybe at some point it would have worked, but depending on like where your ancestors are from, like people who live in the Arctic, where they hardly ever get like vegetables and whatever, and there's a lot of cold winters, you know, maybe apart from certain seasons, but most of the time it's cold and wintry there and below freezing. Yeah, they eat whale. They eat, well, they don't eat polar bears because I think that's kind of deadly, right? Because the polar bear pancreas or something, or liver, I don't know, has like so much vitamin A that it can cause like vitamin A poisoning to the human body. But, you know, they would eat whales, they would eat other kind of animals and sea creatures and whatever, and like rabbits, foxes, because that's the food that they had available. And so their body had to learn to adjust because they grew up in an environment where this was the only sustenance that they had. And so because their body has adapted to it, it may be harder for them to stop eating certain things and to start taking a new form, right? Just like a certain part of the world could love chickpeas, and chickpeas could be a fundamental staple food for them, right? In a couple of countries or a region in the world. But in another part of the world where they don't normally eat chickpeas, chickpeas can give them so much gas and bloating that, like, no matter how they cook them, it just hurts their stomach. And they just can't do it, right? So it's the same thing. It's like nothing, it's not black and white, okay? And this would be black and white too, right? Yin, yang. It's not black and white. It's not that simple. It's there's so many exceptions, and I think this is kind of the thing that you guys are dropping within, like, your ego, right? It's like if somebody didn't hold a door, if you held the door for somebody but they walked in and they didn't say thank you, you know, and you're just like, that was rude of them. Yes, but it could have been that they were just so worried and preoccupied they didn't even realize that someone was holding the door. They probably didn't even realize that they walked through a door. But you guys are fuming over there thinking, how rude of this person, I was being nice, blah, 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 right? So it's kind of along those lines. It is, you guys are already starting to work on it. It's this shift in mindset and mentality. I'm really proud of you guys for getting to this place, because some people live their whole lives without even touching it, okay, without looking at it, without addressing it. But you guys are creating change for yourselves by doing this. It's going to take some time, and I think that's why they're giving you guys the little heads up of whenever you start getting a little triggered or irritated, or like you're trying to push or something like that, or somebody not changing is kind of irritating you because you guys are changing. Right? Remember that things are not as black and white as they may seem, okay? And people have free will, and just because you're doing better for your life, it's everyone else has free will, so you shouldn't expect other people to be doing the same for themselves, okay? You can't care someone into taking care of themselves, right? It's got to be something that comes from within. You can't force someone to lose weight, right? To shed weight. That's got to be something that comes from within. When they get that spark, they can shed the weight. But if somebody is forcing them, they'll lose the weight on the diet, and then they'll gain it all back because they haven't changed anything, since it wasn't it didn't click with them. It was just somebody trying to impose this onto them, right? Okay, so what else have we got here is the healing focus. Oh, you know what I just realized? You guys have the Knight of Swords twice. Wow, so they're really kind of putting in this aspect for you. They're really pushing this aspect for you, okay? And letting go. Again, there's this emphasis on letting go of that past mindset, because you have the Four of Wands and the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles also is talking about feeling good and like prosperous and all of this stuff. So really, you guys are kind of coming out of a lack mentality. You are coming from that self-worth stuff that you guys are going to be overcoming in the next coming time, right? So yes, that seems to be the emphasis that they keep pulling you guys to. And also with the opposition, with resistance, struggle, and polarity, this is, polarity. Yin, yang, black, white, water, fire. There's so much emphasis on Two of Swords. There's so much emphasis on duality here, okay? So I think this is so interesting. So there's this aspect of positivity and just kind of celebrating and enjoying life anyway, or getting too nitpicky and analytical and kind of like coming to attack verbally, right? So it's like, what are you going to choose? What are you going to choose in times of opposition, or when you experience resistance from somebody else? Does somebody else's resistance even matter unless they're actually talking to you, and like if they continue to call you the B word and you've told them not to, right? In that case, it would matter. But if somebody chooses not to change their life and it's not something that directly impacts you, you know, are you going to allow it to kind of eat up your mind and sit there rent-free and take you out of this mindset that you're trying to, this new mindset that God is trying to lead you guys into with abundance and prosperity, you know? And like fun, yeah, because the Four of Wands is celebration. And then you've got fun, hobbies, creativity. And so anytime that you guys start to get a little bit irritated or frustrated, or you're kind of confused, you know, or feeling a little like clueless or whatever, you know, you're just like, I don't get it. Why are they being this way or whatever? Or you're just feeling like this polarity kind of getting the best of you, like this push and pull, or like this tug of war between both aspects, the part of you from the past and the part of you that's trying to kind of come out and pull you into a different place. It's good for you guys to go out into nature. Okay, so maybe take a walk in the park, surround yourself with nature, go look at flowers, watch little birdies, you know, because I feel like it's going to bring you guys that inner peace to kind of bring you back to where you guys actually are, not in the mindset of the past or the mindset that is trying to pull you into a future, but where you guys actually are. And it can bring some peace and give you guys clarity. Okay, so let me see the final message for you guys with the Astro dice. Boop. Wait. Oop. I'm so sorry. I almost dropped my water bottle and it was open. That would have not been so great. Okay, we've got Mercury. Yes, so much emphasis on intellect and communication. Okay, so I do feel like some of you guys could have had an ego thing in the past, you know, or that you guys were overcoming when it comes to your mind and like rational thought. You're just like, no, what you're saying doesn't make sense because blah, 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 you know. The blahs are meant to be like insert here, but but that's why I was saying it's like everything is not black and white. Okay, then we've got 12, Capricorn, and the 7th house. So 7th house is our connections and relationships, and it can also be considered our shadow aspects, our shadow self, because it's on the opposite of our 1st house, which is the side of us that everybody gets to see, and the 7th house is the side that only close personal people get to see, right? Because it's our connections and relationships and how we show up there. So again, and then with Capricorn, this is like talking about that old wound, okay, that self-worth thing, but it's also that old wound and coming through and those connections from that old wound, from that old place. Okay, so with the 12th house, you guys are revamping that now. You guys are coming to close in this kind of a cycle so that you can keep moving forward. All right, and you guys can be a very powerful speaker in this world. Like your voice is meant to be heard, okay? You're meant to communicate. You're meant to help people and all of this stuff. But before you can go out and help people and give like these motivational talks or whatever it could be, whatever it is that you guys are giving lectures on or whatever, or seminars or writing books about, because it feels like you guys are meant to be communicating in some level. Your voice is meant to be seen or heard by the masses. So whether that's books, poetry, you guys doing talking, you know, however you talk to people, before you guys can go and help people, you've got to help yourself. So until you guys address this kind of thing that we were talking about, yeah, look, it just flipped to 1. 1 is the self. It's also the magician, the alchemist. Oh, it flipped from the 7th to the 1st house. Yo, that's what I was just talking about, right? I was like, it is the opposite of the 1st house. And I normally never point that out, but we also have opposition here, which I didn't think about when I said that. But yeah, like it's just flipping. It's kind of like you've got to see yourself in that perspective, right? Could you imagine if somebody who didn't work on this stuff came up to you and started preaching to you? You guys would get triggered by it, right? It would be a little bit ego driven. So you guys have got to kind of, as you work on this, naturally you'll start to kind of surrender and release and forgive the past and stuff. So it's not going to be coming in so strongly for you, and you're not going to be kind of pushing for people to be a certain way, right? Because if you're trying to help people grow, it's not by forcing them into that growth. I mean, some people do that, but I personally, this is my personal opinion, don't think that this is going to be the most effective method to help people to grow, because now those people are going to continue to rely on you to grow, because their method of growing was somebody pushing them into it. Whereas the other way would be you guys sharing your story and talking about it and inspiring people to create this change within themselves, right? It's not about you talking at somebody. It's about you guys inspiring people with your words. And I feel like that's the place that you guys are heading towards. That's where you guys are going to be getting to on some level. But you've got to kind of heal this kind of thing first, right? Work on this a little bit so that you can actually help the masses, right? Because if you're coming in with ego, with ego, you're not going to be reaching as many people as you could. And it would be coming from a hurt place. It wouldn't be the right approach. So you know how sometimes like somebody is meant to I'm just seeing a little fruit fly walking around on my card, which is so weird. But like, yeah, it kind of feels like maybe this could be a little triggering or annoying for you guys to hear. And that's okay, you know? Because you're like, oh, that sounds like a long, annoying process or journey, you know? And that's okay. And people are going to come and try to sabotage you. Don't go looking for these people, but it's just, that's kind of how this journey works, okay? People are always going to try to, the darker energy is going to try to pull you back to the hurt, okay? Because that's what you know. And as you reprogram, it's going to try to convince you to stay there. It's a test. Are you really ready to keep moving forward? Do you really want to kind of let go of the past and keep moving forward in your life? Or are you just going to come back to that comfort zone of hurt and trauma, you know? So it's going to take a little bit of healing, a little bit of transformation for you guys. And that's okay, because literally everybody goes through this. Everyone, okay? It's kind of like, you can, I don't know if this is going to be a good example, but we'll just see where it goes. But like Siddhartha, right? The story of Siddhartha. So he was like a prince or something, and he grew up in a palace, not realizing how the people have suffered. You know, he was not allowed to see outside the palace, but all of the people were suffering outside of the palace. They were very poor and whatever. And then one day he snuck out or something, and he was doing a tour, and he saw that people were sick. People were poor. People were malnourished. And it like made him so upset that he gave up. I don't remember the full story, guys. It's been a while. This was also like 14 years ago that I learned about this, and I haven't touched it really since. But something along those lines, where he basically left the palace. He ran away. He escaped because he couldn't stand the idea that he was living in such luxury when his people were suffering. And I believe he became Buddha. You know, like he started meditating or whatever, and something along, basically, and he gave them a middle path, a middle way on how to kind of get out of the struggle or something along those lines. Wow, yeah, that's why I said I don't know if it was going to be a good example, but it's basically like if somebody had their whole life this is not you guys, but I'm giving it as an example. If somebody lived a very happy life for the majority of their life, okay, or like their family was very happy and kind and perfect and exactly what they needed, right? And they were just the ideal family. They were super kind, super nice. And so this child that grew up in this family never had to face adversity, okay? And so they couldn't relate to the majority of the world. But then the child goes out and starts dating at some point, right? They become an adult and they start dating, and they experience, because it's like trauma is unavoidable. Some kind of hurt is unavoidable, right? So if they didn't get it in their family, they got it through that connection or that relationship that created some kind of trauma or hurt for them. And if they didn't experience that, they wouldn't be relatable, you know? And if you guys are meant to be communicating with the masses, it's like you had to, if you were meant to be working on a huge scale, like a huge, massive public figure, like worldwide, okay? Can you imagine how big of an ego somebody could have by being that? It gets to the point where their ego is so big that they're not actually going to be helping people because it's just so egotistical. But if that same person who maybe was that way as a child, but then during childhood experienced some kind of trauma that gave them a lack of self-esteem or whatever, then had to rediscover their self-esteem, not only can they relate to the masses, but now they can actually come from a place of compassion because they can say that they were there too. They know what it's like. They understand what suffering is, and they can help. And it's not coming from ego, it's coming from purity. And that's where you get to make that huge, big impact that makes you worthy of, or that makes you the reason why you're like that big star or whatever that's worldwide and whatnot, okay? So I know that was kind of weird, but I hope that it made sense to you guys, the example, because I feel like I'm like pulling at straws and I'm like just reaching. So I'm trying to kind of get an example of what I'm trying to explain. So hopefully you guys got the point. But yeah, that was your reading group 4. You guys are in for quite a ride, and it's exciting. It's exciting that you guys get to be on this journey. You guys are finally alchemizing your life, and it's going to take some time. So continue to be gentle with yourself. Just keep reminding yourself to be kind and gentle to you, okay? And try not to be too aggressive with the people who you feel have hurt you. Because though you think that maybe they don't deserve to be forgiven or they're irritating and stuff, when you forgive somebody, you know that phrase, and it's like, you're not doing it for them, you're doing it for you, but it's true. And how you're doing it for you is you guys are giving yourself permission to no longer let that situation have hold over you, right? You're saying, I give myself permission to let this go so that I can actually get a new story coming into my life. Not like holding on to it and keep repeating the story in different patterns and cycles with other people on different levels, okay? So that's why forgiveness is good. It's not about the other person. It's about you guys freeing yourself from the past. And it's going to take some time. I don't think all of you guys are 100% there, and that's okay, because this, again, takes time. Right now, you guys are already taking a big leap and step here by implementing this kind of self-care, by like talking the right way about yourself and trying not to have this kind of aspect of control or whatever, you know, like trying to catch that, being more mindful of yourself, right? And realizing that maybe logic is not going to be the solution to everything, okay? And sometimes logic is not the solution to everything, and sometimes emotions are not the solution to everything. And sometimes you guys have got to play in the gray, right? So that's the emphasis with all this yin yang. It's like this emphasis on balance, kind of finding it in between. All right. But yes, that was your reading, group 4. I hope you guys weren't too triggered, okay? If you were, I'm sorry, but hopefully you guys got it. So if you did, I would appreciate if you guys would leave a comment in the description, like if you left a comment down below letting me know, like, if it clicked for you guys, you know. Hopefully it wasn't too harsh. Hopefully it was just exactly how you guys needed to hear it. If you guys like the video, I would appreciate if you gave it a thumbs up, and though you don't have to, it would be very nice if you did choose to subscribe to the channel, as it does help support the channel. I'm very grateful for you guys coming by, watching these videos. You know, these videos truly are an act of service, you know, because I know that so far, at least, they haven't been the most popular. But this was one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to start my YouTube channel. And to be completely honest, why I don't do love readings every week, okay, is because I feel like it's wonderful to talk about love, but if we don't give people the tools on how to kind of work on themselves... Is it raining? No, sorry. If we don't give people the tools to work on themselves, how are they ever going to attract this love of a lifetime that they keep hearing about in like pick a card readings and all this stuff, right? That's why I don't focus on, or I try not to do love readings every single week, because though I like doing them for you guys, I feel like the healing is so much more important, because this is going to be the tool that gets you everything else that you want in life. Right? That's why I do these videos. Like, these videos truly, like, that's why I'm saying they're like an act of love, right? Because even though they're not the most popular, maybe, at least at the moment, for the few people that do click onto them and get the message that they need to hear, I think it makes it all worth it. It was honestly one of the biggest reasons why I started making videos on the NutAeum channel, because NutAeum is my company, it's my business. And the way that I do readings with clients, the main focus is healing. It is healing. It's working on those emotional traumas and wounds and stuff, you know. So it is a journey, and it's always going to be a journey, and that's what makes life worth living. Because if everything was just as simple as here, this the whole time, there'd be no point, you know. It's kind of like, it's how some people, they feel good when they've earned something. And I'm not saying you have to earn love or whatever. You deserve it just because you exist. But there's also this sense of accomplishment when you do work towards something. And especially when that something is you, when you work towards getting closer and closer to your true self, right? But yes, also if you guys are interested in a personal private reading or a custom crystal bracelet or a custom affirmation song, you guys can reach out to me through my contacts page on my website, or through my email, all in the description box below. I'm also on Instagram. My handle is NutAeum. It's also going to be in the description box below if you guys want to drop by and say hi over there. And also, I think that's all I got. Yeah, I feel like there was something else to say, but I don't remember what it is, and I don't think it's that kind of important. But yeah, that was your reading group 4. Okay. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm sending you guys lots of love. Okay. Lots of light. Okay. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye, group 4. I'll see you guys next time.